the crook.
Well, actually...
Yeah, I'm watching the rise, and I wouldn't say I'm shocked, cause I'm hardly surprised. This one's for the ride, this one's for who knew I'd make it, just needed some time. This one's for my wife, could've left 1,000 times just so by my side. This one's for the grind, I knew it would happen, just had the strength in my mind. To the videos, they thought I was a black guy. That's hard to get over. A foreigner in the sport, but I'm fully devoted. I don't take it for granted that the door's been open. I knew I was different, I knew I was chosen. A breadwinner, but I'm soft-spoken. Authentic like a 5950 and there's no cap. Let's have a toast to that. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the They done baptized the bad guy. Still don't follow religion. The fabric's not average. The cotton's Egyptian. 500 for the shoes, come dirty, but the European. Less is more and less is the bank. Up the score, I pull up from Trey. From the tray, I'm ballin' like Trey. Do what I can, I do what you can't. I wrote this 30,000 feet up. 10 toes, stay G'd up. I'm tryna get that type of wealth, like a house on the hills, can't see us. Say the money still me up. Stay humble, stay teed up. I don't tell you how to live, so don't hit me with no weak stuff. And if you know the deal, then you know the deal. If it's real, then you know.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? This your man Marcus A. Brown, and I'm here to tell y'all that I just got done with my first consultation with the brother Andre of Love Crossing Borders. I just wanted to give him his praises. I need y'all to do two things if you haven't already. If you haven't, subscribe to his YouTube channel, Love Crossing Borders. Also, if you are going to Colombia, if you're thinking of going anywhere, traveling internationally, please consider booking a consultation with the OG Andre of Love Crossing Borders. You will not be disappointed. I'm a fan of the channel, so I booked a 2-hour session just to show support, just to show love and say what's up. He provided a wealth of information, way more than I was even expected. He has an excellent presentation. So I just wanted to let y'all know you will not be disappointed. Book the consultation, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Dre, man, I appreciate you. I will be out in Colombia, and I look forward to linking up with you. And y'all, get in tune with him if you haven't already. Tell him MAB sent you.
And I'm glad I'm able to help raise up a community of black men.
Theo had this crazy idea of teaching black men what he had learned in the tech field.
If you're resistant to change, you only want to do one thing or one way, yeah, you're not going to make it.
This is about taking men, black men, and making them better men.
Where are all the black men? And I'm not talking about the scammers, the drug dealers, the robbers, and the crooks.
Well, actually...
Andre and Andre's Love Crossing Borders. Shout out to all you gentlemen and ladies that are here tonight on a wonderful Wednesday night. Shout out to all you guys that are here, man. Glad that you guys have made it here. We got an excellent show tonight. We got an interview with one of the speakers of the Black Manosphere Conclave tonight. Our brother Darwin will be here tonight in about good 30 minutes because, you know, we got to have time for intros. And speaking of intros, let me get that intro music going. That smooth intro music going. There we go. Yes, sir. Shout out to all you gentlemen that are here with, once again, with Andre and Andre's Love Crossing Borders. I hope you guys had a great day. I had a great, let me put on a watch. My ensemble never feels complete unless I have on a watch. Shout out to all you guys once again. Now, like I mentioned before, tonight's topic is a good one that we're going to be speaking on as well. You men have been warned. When you meet a woman, you've been warned. As you get to know her, you've been warned. And even if things go to the left, you've been warned. A lot of times we as men ignore the red flags, especially many of us guys that are expats, passport bros, not just the guys that are left on the plantation. I'm not saying that there's a warning label that comes with all women. I'm just saying there's a warning label that comes with all women. And so many, if not most women, are not problematic for the most part. They're just being women. But too many times when we go to other countries, guys, we ignore the red flag. That's why so many guys get scammed. That's why so many guys end up becoming Western Union poppies. That's why so many guys end up getting robbed, hustled, drugged, what have you, in other countries. Why? Because we've been warned, but we have a tendency of ignoring the red flags. And Darwin and I are going to, Mr. DARWYNN MCPHERSON, that is, we're going to be talking about that particular topic tonight. How to not ignore, how to get into the habit as a man of heeding the warnings. I know she looked good. I know she looked sexy. But a lot of times, have you ever noticed a lot of women that you deal with after you've had the sex, it wasn't even worth it? Come on, guys. I know I'm not the only one that you had one that was fine, sexy. You're like, oh, she's so pretty. I can't wait to get this. And as soon as you bust, you couldn't wait to break out the front door. You couldn't wait to get away from her. Why? Because other than sexy, everything about her said red flag. She had nothing in common with you. You had nothing in common with her. The only thing that you wanted was the intimacy. And once you got it, it wasn't even worth keeping you around. So we're going to talk about, because this is a channel that's all about love, and it's all about crossing, and it's all about borders. So for all you guys that are just weekend warriors, this might not be for you. For all you guys that are pay for play guys, I'm sorry, this ain't that channel. But for all you guys that are looking for solidified relationships back home, or whether it's out of the United States, the first thing that you're going to have to do is take heed and get in the habit of realizing that as you get to know women, that some of them, just some, will come with red flags. And how do you handle that? And that's going to be our topic tonight as we speak to our brother, because we want you guys to have an excellent time as you are traveling to all these other countries. Let me get these shout outs started. Shout out to all you guys that are here thus far. We got 28 in the building. Click that like button. We like you. Make sure that you like us too. My man Kenny Peoples, right off the gate, he said this applies to everyone, even if you are expat dating abroad. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct, Kenny. Shout out to you, brother. And I just got that email that you sent me with the new videos as well. He said, do you know about the it was church night Bible study? Yeah. Speaking of churches, guys, let's have a moment of silence. Actually, I'm gonna put this on pause. Let's have a moment of silence, man, for at least 10 seconds. Thank you, Kenny, for reminding me. Today was Bible study Wednesday across the country. And also today was Mass across the country. And in Minneapolis, which is famous for being the home of Prince, as many of you already know about the mass shooting and the deletion of the children during church mass in Minneapolis today. 17 people got hurt. 14 of them were children. 2 of them got deleted. And the gunman was aiming for the children from outside of the church. He didn't even go into the church. He just started firing through the windows. And after he was done, he deleted himself. Guys, it hasn't even been 2 weeks that kids have been in school. This was supposed to be a church service, a Bible study, a mass, celebrating the new school year for their particular school. That's what the Bible study they went to, the kids went to this afternoon. It was a mass celebrating and prayer for the up and coming school year. And while they were praying for school, this took place. America, could you do us a favor? And Americans, can you do the rest of the world a favor? When it comes to violence, focus on yours first before you criticize what's going on in other countries. Because ain't nobody doing it to children the way y'all do it. We're going to get back to the topic at hand, but I just want to have a moment of silence for the families and the loved ones and those survivors of today's mass shooting. Because as I was telling Andrea when we were talking about it today, this, according to America's history, this is just the beginning. Shout out to you gentlemen being here. Let me scroll back over the shout out, such as to my man David Dice of the Dice family. Appreciate you being here, Dave. He said the family Andre and Andrea. What's up? What's good, fellas? Yes, sir. Glad that you're here. Ronan, travelers, good morning, good afternoon to you, sir. And all of you guys that are out there in Southeast Asia, shout out to you, brothers, man. Y'all got culture on culture out there, food, everything else, as well as the beautiful ladies and a wonderful cost of living. Salute to you, kind sir. Salute to you. Appreciate you, man. Always being here. Make sure that you drop the link. Ronan, do us a favor, man. I always say drop the link to the channels, but I never see the link, man. Drop the link to your channels, to you, Fearless, and Black Man's Travel. Go ahead, drop the link to you guys' channels so we all can subscribe, man. We love to gleam off of each other's work. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thelonious is in the building. Respect and prop goes to Andrea, to Andre, to Brizar. Hope I pronounced that. Brizzery. Ken, David, and Ronan. Shout out to you guys being here. Appreciate you all. If they like the stream, share the content, subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is a call to action for you guys. Shout out to Bobby Coltrane, also of the Coltrane family. He say this is going to be another banger. Europe. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to all you guys that are here. Shout out to all you guys that are here. Let me remove that. And let me scroll down some. Ronan Bobby. I see Ronan. My man Neo Moses in the building as well. It's a blessings. Aaron is a good choice to interview. Yes, sir. He's a good man. Really good man. I've been following this content for about a year and a half, man. The brother's just taking off. Shout out to him. Shout out to also to Tori Brown of the Brown family. Appreciate you being here as well. You know, man, KLL, or in other words, KL Logic, that is, or Logical Truth. Salute to you. Salute to you as well, sir, for being here. We're glad to see that you're here, KL. Let me scroll down a little bit further and see my brother in the building. I am collecting data is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We must be doing something right. Salute to the chat as well as the host working, but tuned in. Well, we help a lot of you guys. Hope we help make your day or your work day go a lot better this evening. Shout out to the second and third shifters that are out there. Shout out to the second and third shifters that are out there. Yes, sir. Let me scroll down a little bit more. Shout out my man Jay being in the building. Yes, sir. Dornick in the building. Shout out to you. Dornick in the building. Shout out to you guys. Glad that you're here. Good evening to you. Good evening to you. We got 36 in the building. Click that like button. We like you. Make sure you like us too. Such as my man Chris is in the building. What's up? Shout out to you. And my man H.R. Ferguson of the Ferguson family. First of his name in the year of our Lord 2025. Glad to see that you're here. Our host will be here in about 12 minutes. Our host will be here. Our guest will be here. Shout out to you guys for being here. My man Neil says, my home got shot up in Minnesota. It's crazy, man. So you live there, man. It's sad. He said it happened at a Catholic church. Oh, so you have put this in. Yeah. Andrea and I were having dinner, and we were watching the headlines and the sheriff talking about what took place. And Andrea kind of pulled up the guy's Facebook page and some of the things that he said on Facebook. And these crazy people have all summer to prepare to do dastardly deeds to our children in the States. It's so sad. What's the smell of what is the smell? I didn't put the smell out. Let's see. I ain't gonna even lie, man. I've been rocking this like crazy. This is Nitro, right? Nitro is only like $30, right? If that. You can get on Amazon. This is Nitro Red Intensely. There's a Nitro Red Intense, and there's a Nitro Red Intensely, LY. This is the watermelon Jolly Rancher watermelon scent. It is extremely masculine. There is nothing feminine about it, but it is excellent for if you live in, such as my boy Sean D. Upshaw. If you are one of them Texas boys that's living in Texas, this is an excellent cologne for you just rocking with your t-shirt. You can rock it with a suit, but rock it with your t-shirt, or you just rocking it on your day off. It's not necessarily a date cologne. It's a feel good about yourself. It's having a good fun day. If you're going on a date and y'all going bowling or y'all going putt golfing, that's what this type of cologne is. This is not for a date to sit down eating and being stuffy. This is out and about. She want to smell, oh my God, what's that you got on? That's what this is. This is not for work. This is a fun, masculine cologne. You can wear it if you're at the beach, at the Black Manosphere Conclave in Miami, or you can wear it anywhere that is warm. It is an excellent, just summertime, fun day male scent. Once again, the scent of the day is Nitro Red Intensely. Do not make the mistake and get the Nitro Red Intense. That's one. I think the Intense has a silver cap. This is the one with the gold cap. So this is a gold cap on the top. And the Intensely is the one that's the watermelon. I mean, both of them are watermelon, but this one really puts that watermelon scent right out there. You have a great time. I'm in the building. You say fresh off watching a phenomenal show of last Friday. He said, y'all fellas killed it. I'm glad that you got a chance to finish that one off. When it was Theo, Obsidian, and myself over on all of our channels were combined with El Guapo. Shout out to our brother El Guapo. Glad that he was able to host all of us on the show, and all the guys that have been graduates of Theo's class and have been able to get careers. And it was great to hear their stories. And a lot of those guys are going to be at the Black Manosphere Conclave. Many of those guys are going to be there. Let me scroll down just a tad bit more. And also, speaking of Black Manosphere Conclave, let me add this to the stage. I will be there with the books. You'll be seeing my banner. This will be my table banner. So you'll be seeing me once you see this banner, and you'll be seeing the books that I have that is on sale. My banner is actually being delivered to the hotel right now, even as we speak. So all the books are being delivered there this week as well. So all that I need, actually, some of the books have already made it. So all that I need there is going to be there at the Black Manosphere Conclave, and I'm giving excellent deals in all three books. And of course, they will be autographed. So there's no extra cost having your books autographed. Or if you bring your book, if you already have a copy and you want to bring it with you, bring it with you. And I'll autograph it for you as well. Shout out to all you guys that'll be there with us at the Black Manosphere Conclave. Once again, just look for Love Crossing Borders banner and support the channel by purchasing one of the books. And I'll be teaching a free class also. So even if you're not a part of the Black Manosphere Conclave, let's say you didn't get a ticket, I will be teaching a class, and that class will be talking about the 5 steps of relocating outside the United States if you need to leave in 5 months, 5 years, or you got kids, you'll have to wait about 15 years. What do you do? So we're going to be talking about that in details in a question and answer session. And I think the classes will also be broadcast to those guys that are watching me via satellite. Well, shout out to all you guys. Appreciate you guys being here. Let me blow this back up. And let's check out Jay Carson of the Carson family. He say, this is a watch now. He say, and a watch later stream. Yes, sir. You can get a part 1 and part 2 out of this. Shout out to my man David in the building.
813, Trigger City. Let's get it.
Not the Tampa, but here we go. Salute to you as well. Salute to you as well, brother. Glad to see that you're here. We got 34 in the building. You say, follow the Lions Den. Yes, sir. Follow the Lions Den. We're going to have a great time, man. There we go. Follow the Lions Den. Ronin Travels channel. Make sure you follow his channel. Make sure you follow AD Fearless. Yes, sir. Man, Adrian, great dude. And shout out to my man, Black Man's Travel. Make sure that you subscribe to his channel. These guys do some excellent work as a trio, as well as individual YouTube channels themselves. Shout out to you. And shout out to my brother T-Mac, my fellow Colombian brother, expat. We have no problems with being immigrants in another country. We have no problem with being immigrants in another country. Shout out to you, brother. Salute to Ronin. Yes, sir. Shout out to you, brother. You say Sefner 5. Oh, Sigma 5. Sigma 5. My bad. My brother. Shout out to you, brothers. Shout out to you, brothers. Let me not dip in another man's conversation. Shout out to you guys for supporting by way of PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chats. We appreciate that, guys. We appreciate that. Now, let's, like I mentioned before, tonight's topic, we change the music because our guest will be coming on in a few moments. Tonight's topic is centered around red flag. Red flags. We're going to ask a couple questions, and we're going to get some answers for you guys, because I don't know why it is that we men have a tendency of ignoring the red flags. We love the green flags. We'll tolerate a yellow flag. But somehow, some way, many of us gravitate to women that bring 100% unadulterated, no artificial coloring, no artificial flavoring. Yes, I'll be in class 7. Yes, sir, Tori. I'll be in class. I know class 7 got something going on tonight, right now as well. So shout out to class 7. I know and understand that there are a lot of red flags out there. I get it. I get it. No matter where you go, there are some good women, there's some bad women, but sometimes we have a bad habit of thinking that all women are created equal, or that we could change. I know, right? It's my song too, the smoothness. The smoothness. And I know a lot of guys think that, I could change her. I could make her into a different woman. She's got all the sexiness I need. She crazy freaky. I can change her. See, the last man wasn't patient enough. See, he didn't love her enough. Or he didn't give her enough money. We come with all these excuses to ignore the red flags. So let's not get in the habit of doing that. So tonight, our guest will not only speak on, what he's doing as far as the conclave, or as far as some of the things that he's doing in regards to his brand. But tonight, the centerpiece is about you guys. It really is about you guys understanding the fact that if you are in the habit of ignoring red flags, especially if you're a passport bro, blue book gentleman, expat, or just a brother still back home on the plantation, this live stream is for you. And let me bring our guest up, who has no need of introduction. This man has been blowing up YouTube like Jiffy Pop popcorn. This man has been all over social media. Every time you turn around, you get to get some great information, some great insight on dating, relationships, from a man that's doing it right and looking just as good in a suit as I do. Our brother and fellow conclave speaker, Darwyn MCPHERSON.
What is going on, my man?
You.
Man, you the man, man. What is due? What's going on? Appreciate having me.
Man. Oh man, I'm glad to have you here, man. First of all, I want to give flowers where flowers are due. I've sat back and we've been doing content creation for quite a while, and I love when I see guys that have great energy, great insight, and really have a resonating message that can help people out, whether it be male or female. And that's what you've done. You've been able to bridge a threshold for men and women both to learn from you, whether they want to accept it or not. That's on them. But you've been able to build a threshold. And I want to give you flowers for that, man. I kid you not. Not too many individuals, so many individuals have tried to come and do it and have faltered. And yet you've been able to actually continue over the last few years, be able to be successful in what you've been doing on social media. First question I have for you is, tell guys a little bit about yourself that most people don't know, because we see you from the perspective of information and knowledge, but we never get the chance to hear about the man behind the tie.
Well, first of all, okay, so most people know I'm married. But the reason why I came into this space is because it was all personal to me. The collapse of marriages, the struggles in the dating market when it comes to men and women missing each other that are typically average men and average women. The reason why it became personal to me because of my upbringing. The lifestyle I had as a young man, as a young boy, growing up in inner city, poverty, mother, this was the 80s. So crack was, I think, just introduced as a recreational drug.
Yes, sir.
Before they figured out it damaging effect and long-term effects, it was just like smoking marijuana, no shame. But it became personal to me because I didn't get the experience necessary to develop masculinity, develop as a man to be successful. I had all these obstacles in front of me that I wasn't aware of, that I didn't understand. I had to go figure it out on myself. It was just this sense of urgency I had just because of my background. Okay, if I figure this out for myself, and there's still guys out here, they're angry, they're bitter, they're upset, they've been burned so many times over and over again. If I could figure out a way where there's not a lot of risk, why not pass that information on to the men who are still out here trying to punch the clock? The guys who haven't given up yet. So I got into the space, and shout out to Lapeef Network. I connected with the Style OG. Style OG is one of the guys who's running the same circles as Kevin Samuels.
Yes, sir.
And Style OG became my mentor for men's fashion and self-improvement. And he encouraged me to get into the space and start talking more because, I had all my kids in wedlock. I got married young from a woman who came from a two-parent household. And just like the red flags, I was looking for the red flags. I was 6 years older than her. I met her in college. I got lucky though. It's very hard to find a woman that is ready or that's willing to get on your program. So I consider myself blessed. But I came into the space because I had figured out a way to navigate to wet dog. I figured out how to get around, and I was able to teach it. I got a background in computer science. I understand math really well, and I just try to inject the logic of mathematics into how to navigate the struggles in the dating market. And I just try to focus on, outcomes. What are the outcomes men want? What are the outcomes women want? How can we figure out a bridge the gap to draw the connection between the two, and men get what they want and women get what they want? Because right now, the only one that's winning is companies that, make billions and trillions of dollars off the back of single women. If they can keep families apart from each other and keep women single, then they are the ones who win, and we're not. So I tend to focus on that. And I think that might be something that a lot of people that do know me don't know about me. I got something new I'm cooking up too, man. I don't know if anybody took it before, but I'm just going out on the whim. I might get some backfire, some pushback. But I understand that there's multiple pills, and we know that's core philosophy. You got the blue pill, you got the red pill, you got the black pill. And when I started studying them a couple years ago, and the black pill, the recently one I just studied, it dawned in me that, but none of them really bring men and women together, specifically in the U.S. market. Because I understand going abroad is a game changer, but none of them really brought men and women together. So I'm starting to come up with this thing called money pill.
There we go.
I'm gonna launch a video on that tomorrow 9 in the morning. I don't want to give away too much.
Okay. However, I'm going with a however. Can we get a small segment in regards to what it might be about?
Okay. So let me just give you the foundation of it.
Okay.
So we know, and we're talking about the landscape now. It's 2025. Maybe none of this stuff would even be relevant back in the 60s, where marriage was at an all-time high, and average men and average women wasn't actually missing each other by the women dating horizontally and up and men dating horizontally and down. So today in this landscape, there's two things. Men want peace on one side and women want lifestyle and security. But men want to still protect their assets, the things they obtain over the time, over the journey of working so hard and being compensated for their efforts. So there's a void to fill. Why don't we just be transparent? The dating market is already transactional, right? Women are seeking their independence if they can't get the lifestyle, right? And they're willing to dial on going after it. Men, they want peace. They understand the court systems. They understand spirituality, religious, anything about God is pretty much stripped away from us coming together. And a lot of them the men become incels. And it's not necessarily the nerdy guy, that look like a quadriplegic with bifocals and nothing. These are the average guys, average earners, 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, that just haven't hit the genetic lottery. And they're not hitting on all the mating market signals to be able to track the women for the desired outcome they want. So they end up being buyers on the internet. And when I say buyers on the internet, these guys typically are funding OnlyFans accounts. They're investing in AI girlfriends, soft porn. The women are controlling controlling the whole landscape online. And in reality, the top 15, the top 20% of the men are controlling the landscape in real life. So men are losing online, women are winning online. Men are winning in real life, and women are losing offline because these women are being cycled around. So the understanding of the money pill is, if it's already built, the landscape is already a transactional thing. How can we figure out how to win with the landscape already without reinventing it? Because there's no way you can turn these women back. If you throw in all these movements on top of it, there's no way to turn these women back. These women want the lifestyle and they want security, bottom line. They don't care how many damn muscles you got, how tall you are. Once the money is not there, the women is gone. They start checking out. And of course you have you have a great deal of other women that you might just run into that's not about that. But for the most part, a growing number of women are moving like this. So what I tell men to do is take the money pill. Communicate to terms. The relationships is on your terms. There's no cohabitation. Typically, the two have already probably had kids. Most of these guys are 40, 50, 60 top earners, or even average earners that just don't want to risk getting into a marriage. And the rule is to just keep your own place, communicate on your terms. If she have kids, we don't push dealing with women with kids, but you got to be real. This is just what you're going to get in the market. And if you decide to do it, there's a rule, there's tools, there's a way you carry yourself so you don't get burned or have to deal with drama with that. But we don't cohabitate. Guys that already had kids typically get a vasectomy. Women probably already had kids, don't want no more, they got the tubes tied.
True.
So I'm not saying the man is just funding the entire lifestyle. You may pay a bill here, you may pay some expenses here, and if you got it, it ain't nothing. You getting the outcome you want and you get the peace you want. And when she sees you with another woman, there's no drama. She's just a part of the program. She's a party member. You get what I'm saying? So that's what money pill is. And anybody want to exit, if something develops like marriage, because I get a lot of pushback in private meetings talking about this. Oh, you're not pushing marriage, or are you destroying marriage? Has already been destroyed by lies. What am I going to do? I'm just bringing people in the same space together so that they can somehow deal with each other. And that's the whole goal with the money pill.
All right, man. I like that.
I might have rambled off too much. I hope they was able to digest it.
Listen, I'm looking forward to seeing that video tomorrow. So, or whenever you drop it. So I'm looking forward to that. And to kind of like piggyback off what you're saying and what we're trying to do here, we're the same way with Love Crossing Borders. We try to do that on an international scale. We know that the reality is that a lot of guys travel with their passports. They're weekend warriors. They like to have their fun. That's great. You can't tell what a grown man do with his grown money. The other thing that we do is we often let guys know, hey, if you're a pay-for-play guy, you're safe, and you're making sure that you do everything right so you can fly into that country safely, have fun, and then fly back home safely. That's what we try to do. But 90% of what we do here on Love Crossing Borders is just like what you do. We do it on the international scale when it comes to helping guys solidify solid relationships, because quite often guys see us married guys that are successfully doing it, and they assume that we're lucky, and we say yeah to a certain extent, but most of us are really strategic. And a part of being strategic is the topic that we're going to be talking about tonight with our brother Darwin in regards to men. You've been warned. Women usually who have red flags usually show those warning signs. And a lot of times, because of her beauty, no matter what country we're in, we ignore those red flags. So I got a couple of questions that I've written down, and I would like to hear from your perspective in regards to these. Why men? First question is, why do you think men often ignore red flags other than beauty? It's easy to talk about the intimacy part, but other than beauty, why do you think men stay in situations when the red flags are blaring? And yet we ignore them anyway.
Well, first of all, I got over 1,000 hours between consultations, live stream video content, and dealing with this matter. Red flags is probably one of the most repetitive, redundant topics that I speak on. And what I've been able to find out is for most men, they just don't have the options. Most men are open to dealing with red flags, and it's a thing called tolerance. They're beginning to tolerate more because they don't see the opportunity to have better or even the same. So the opportunity doesn't seem visible. So they tend to stick around and deal with disrespect, a woman crossing the boundaries because they don't feel like they can do better or even have a shot at something. And then don't let the woman be decent looking. Oh man, if she, and you said besides from beauty, so I no need to touch on that, but it's also a lot of manipulation. A growing number of women are starting to understand, and this is my research on the psychology side. A growing number of women understand that men start slower whenever it comes to interactions, dating, relationships, socializing, and all that. Socializing and all that. Men are more hesitant to be able to, be upfront and speak and communicate. Women are starting early. They're reaching puberty early. A lot of them are having sexual relationships in their teenage years. And we don't push that, but they're often getting their reputation and they're putting the work in early before they even become adults. So they're miles and miles ahead of men who are just starting to scrape the tip of the iceberg whenever they turn 21, 22, 23, 20, get into college.
True. So
these women already know how to deal with manipulation, disrespect. They know how to navigate. They know how to usurp authority. They know how to run mind games on men. A lot of men are just coming in as babies, and they don't know how to deal. They don't know how to deal with it. So that's where the disconnect is as far as the women having an upper hand whenever she wants to, cross the boundaries when men who appear that they don't have any other options.
It's funny that you would say it and word it like that men are not as much. I don't want to use the term mature, but aren't as prepared as the ladies are. It's the same dilemma that a lot of guys that are using their passports are going through. I spoke about this the other day. When you come from a country like the United States that has a 74% obesity rate, and not obesity, but overweight rate, 74% of all Americans are considered overweight or obese, and that's in the 20 percentile. And then you come to South America, and you're among all these gorgeous women, or you go to Southeast Asia, or you go to Southern Europe or South Africa, and a lot of guys aren't prepared. They're not used to seeing this amount of beauty that works at McDonald's, that works at the local pharmacy. She's a 10, but she works behind the counter at the grocery store in Brazil. And since guys aren't accustomed to that, they, like you just said, it's all about preparation. A lot of times guys ignore the red flags on a global basis because technically we haven't been prepared to be around that level of beauty. The average guy with the average passport, and he's making decent money. Most guys that, I want to discuss something with you real quick. There are a couple of myths about the passport bro movement that's not true. One of the main myths is that's put out there in the States is passport bros are men that could not get women in the United States, and so therefore we went to other countries. Actually, passport bros are men that were slaying the average woman and many women in the United States and realized we weren't getting any quality. We could get quantity all the day long. The reason why men got their passports is because the lack of quality that we could date or mate or get to know. So when we hear people sit back and say it's just a bunch of losers and they don't have any money and they don't have any dreams, and it's like, and I'm seeing these guys go to other countries and build hotels, and I'm seeing them go to other countries and accomplish goals and get solidified marriages and have children. But yet in the States and the UK and other countries, women are trying to make themselves feel better. And even some men by saying passport bros are men that couldn't get women, when actually when it came to quantity, we were slaying just like the last dude. We could just run through them rampant because women having the femininity allowed women to have this sexual revolution all over again. And us men were like, okay, cool. We could just run through you and your friends, but we weren't getting quality.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I completely understand that because it was at one point in time in my career, content journey, where I haven't quite grasped it. And until I started actually speaking to guys who went over there, and it's different from the military. You know, as a military, you get deployed, you really ain't got no choice. It's a whole nother different ball game. But you do get a glimpse of it, but you're not really getting the full effect unless you go on there willingly on your own accord. But I do have to confess, I was guilty of one of the guys that would think that it was a way to go, like LeBron going to the WNBA. And there's this misconception. So there was some guys on there, guys in my comments, they wanted me to do well so bad. These guys in despair, they would correct me. Like, bro, we want to see you win, but the shit you talking about is some bullshit. So let me put you on game. Shoot me an email, let me get you a game, and give me the game, set me straight, and then, I'm open-minded. I'm willing to evolve with my content. I'm not one that's gonna stay stagnant. Once somebody give me a realization, a different perspective that makes sense to me, solid. I'm good. I'm a learner. You know what I'm saying? So I started to understand it better. And whenever I started to see the landscape again, how the women are treating these men, it just only makes sense to not restrict yourself or bottleneck yourself to the United States. Especially as a man who had, like you said, we're slaying. You can conquer the world, man. Why do you need to? You don't have to deal with that. But my question to you, and it might be throwing off your interview, but
no, ask.
My question to you is, I've been curious, and I was going to do my own research, but I might just be able to scratch it out because you might be able to just articulate the answer I need. The question I have is, perhaps whenever the brothers like yourself go over to Colombia or something like that, and this is a conversation I had on my live stream last night, maybe you by default become the top 1%. If you look at the earning gap between you and the average man in Colombia. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
was trying to connect the dots, like maybe the reason why a lot of guys are getting treated like kings is because they stepping into a territory where they become the top 1% just over a flight. And I started to try to reverse it, that's why I was getting stuck. Like, maybe I need to ask somebody who's an OG in this. Because the top 1% over here get kind of treated like kings. You know, they have their pick of the litter, but they don't want to check out of the market because a lot of these women come with baggage. And they don't have the traditional values. So I think the thing that separates the women from over here and there is the women over there at least come with the right upbringing and the traditional values.
You hit it right on the head. You do become the top 1%. So no matter where you go in the world, we often say that men are judged by 4 parameters: provider, problem solver, protector, penis, meaning the intimacy part. So you know, you're the problem solver. You know, you're the protector. You are the provider. You're the penis, or her personal, or if you got more than one wife, personal intimacy. And so you're judged by those 4 things. So you're expected to do that no matter what country you land in, whether you are in one of the most expensive countries in the world, which is the United States or UK or Canada, or you're in Thailand, you are in South Africa, you are in Ecuador, you are in Brazil or Colombia or Panama. You're still expected to do the exact same 4 things. You're judged by those 4 things no matter where you go. So here's the kicker. Just like you said, you already have your answer. The fact that I do those 4 things, what are my end results? What are my ROIs when it comes to that? If my ROIs is sassiness, femininity, a destroyed sex life, and I've been married to you for 10 years, you cheating on me because women are cheating just as much as men are with their coworkers. Shout out to you for the video that you did in regards to the work wife. Yeah. You did a special in regards to that one as well. Because when I was in the States, I had plenty of work wives, so I know exactly what you're. Oh, brother, I was running through them.
Man, you should have been in that meeting because we had a private meeting. These are some of the masterminds I've been able to get to. I got so many things going on, I can't afford to stay in them. But they cost thousands of dollars. But a lot of these guys are not just black, they're white, Asian, some of these guys are directors, CEOs and stuff. And they just talk about this stuff privately. But they got security clearances and all that other stuff, and they can't, lose their job over talking about this stuff. But they said exactly what you've been saying, bro. Like a lot of these guys, they won't even get married off of the fact that these men's wives are coming into corporate America, into these office spaces and these ballrooms, and they're just willing and giving it up. They're just screwing their way up the chain.
Yes.
People think that it's not happening. It's happening. A lot of these women don't really have the same skills as the men at that level, and they have to leverage other things. And unfortunately, it happens to be the box.
They figured if Deborah Lee with BET can do it, why can't I? So
it's going on, and people think that it's not going on. It's just going on. It's just when you put men and women in a room together, and you expect these people to work together 5, 10, 15 years, and don't let the men be attractive and the women be attractive. It's just the nature of things. So it's inevitable that it will happen.
But the piggyback off,
don't let you be at home arguing with your wife as you going out of the door, man. Come on,
Thank
you. Pouring fuel on the fire.
She argued with her husband on her way out the door. And she come to work telling you about it. What's the matter? Nothing. Girl, what's the matter? Talk to me. You know he be tripping. He always tripping. Now what happened this time? And so all of a sudden you just build this camaraderie. But to piggyback off of what you were asking me about, when you are a man that are taking that same 60,000 that you were making in the States, and you're gonna get just hypersexuality, you're gonna get a lack of respect for men, you're going to get a woman that wants you to spend excessive amount of money. You can't go to the Cheesecake Factory anymore or Applebee's 2 for $20 anymore. It's just so crazy how it is. And this is among all races, not just our people. But then you take that same $60,000 making man who may be making his money online, or he may have different products or services, he might be in social media, he might be digital marketing, he might be cloud engineering. Take that same man and put him in any of these countries where the women have safeguards. Two forms of safeguards I noticed what my wife and a lot of these other guys can attest to of safeguards. First level of safeguards is the men in their lives. A lot of these countries, the dads are still around, the uncles, the older brothers, the younger brothers. They circle the wagon around these women first. The second level, like Captain Kirk said, shields up in Star Trek. The first shield that goes up are the men. That's why in many countries, the women are so fast to introduce you to their family. Why? That interview starts immediately. Dad, the uncles, the brothers and cousins can tell you immediately he ain't the one or he is the one. We like him. Whereas in the States or in Canada or UK in the West, we have a habit like 3 days before the wedding, we're going to introduce that person to our family. So that person didn't get a chance to be kind of like analyzed by the family to see if that person even fits in well with the family. The second wave are the ladies, grandma, aunties, all the ladies that are in the kitchen. I'm not allowed to be in the kitchen. Why? When those ladies, I can't even go. The men, we know we can't even ask for a beer. Don't go in there. The women will come out and ask y'all, do y'all need anything to drink? Y'all know what's
That's
to drink?
beautiful.
Okay, I'll be right back. But to walk in that kitchen where the ladies are talking, women talk, and kind of like catering to each other and keeping each other traditional, we men know, don't you walk in that kitchen. Don't ask for nothing. Don't go in there. Just kind of like glance your head up like you're thirsty. That's the best that you can do because they're going to cater to you. And so if my wife, for example, she suddenly tries to be modernized, that'll be snuffed out by the first wave of men. Not Andre, the first wave of men. And then the second wave, her mom, her grandma, what are you doing? Why are you acting like that? I did not raise you to be like that. They're always asking Andrea, my wife, when she leaves out, did Andre eat? Did you make sure? How's Andre doing? Did you make sure you took care of this? Oh, now you know we're going out dancing tonight. Did you take care of this, that, and this for Andre? The women say all that. I don't have to open up my mouth. In the United States, women don't have those circles around them. They have their LGBT male friends. Girl, you are a queen. You are the one. Can't nobody tell you nothing. Then they have single women that keep women single that circle around them. And so, girl, you don't need no man. We got money now, girl. And so that's their circle. So both aspects, women, the other 96% of women that live outside the United States have a circle of men and a circle of positive women to keep her traditional. To whereas in the United States, the 4% of women that live in the United States, compared to the rest of the world, they have a circle, but it's the LGBTQ friends. It's the single friends that keep friends single. It's their mama that didn't have a man, or their grandmama didn't have a man. And so their circle is different. And so that's why that man with the same 60,000 that's using his provision, problem solving, penis, and protection skills, no matter where he is, gets better results or better ROI, not because of him, but because of the circle that stays around that woman for a lifetime. And then when people try to say the other thing is we go to impoverished countries, it's amazing how people have never been to the countries that we've gone to, such as Bogota, Colombia, is the 22nd largest country in the world. City in the world. It is 2 times the size of Chicago. It has more people, almost 2 million more people than the city of New York. It is a business as well as investment hub. You have countries such as Thailand, Philippines, Japan. You have countries such as Portugal, Spain, Italy, that are so far advanced in other areas than the United States. United States only ranks number 39 as far as medical, but yet ranks number 1 as far as cost. Colombia, 22. I've had 2 major surgeries in Colombia. I've had no copay for both of them. Anytime I go to the doctor's office, my copay is 84 cents. My medical insurance, including my wife, is $100 a month. What I pay to live in the upper class, I'll say this again, upper class suburban areas, just like an upper class in the United States. upper class suburban area here in Cali, Colombia, for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, including utilities, including the Wi-Fi, including cable. I'm only paying, the apartment is $625 a month. I'm only paying with all the utilities and everything, $800 a month. So you get a bang for your buck. And that's why we say the 3 reasons which are really emphasized when it comes to men who relocate to other countries. The 3 reasons why we relocate are the 3 L's. First L, lifestyle. Could be cost of living, could be better medical, could be better, healthier foods, because in South America, as well as many other countries, GMOs are illegal. Over 116 different foods in the United States are illegal in other, American poultry, pork, fish, and beef is illegal in 116 different countries in the world. You can't even bring it through the airport. And so since you know that you're getting all these other things, the first thing that you're getting is a better lifestyle. Cost of living is better, fresh, cleaner air, friendlier people, things like that. There's no Shangri-La in the world. There's no perfect country, but it's a lot better. Second L is the laws. The laws when it comes to child support laws, when it comes to marriage laws, when it comes to how police treat you. I've been driving here in Colombia for 4 years. I have not once looked behind me when I saw the sirens and thought they were coming after me. I've never been harassed by a police officer. I've only been pulled over three times by a police officer. And each time was because they were having a fundraiser for children that wanted to get wheelchairs. Those are the only times police officers ever. You can take photos with the gorgeous police officers here in Colombia. It's just very friendly. It's a serious country, of course, but it's nothing like the day-to-day trivial events that you'll go through as far as laws. And when I put in laws, also talk about politics. You don't have to worry about the 2 gangs. And I'm not talking about the Bloods and the Crips. I'm talking about the Republicans and the Democrats.
Yeah.
So you're free from that aspect as well. So we talked about lifestyle better. We talked about men leave. We talked about laws, because this is a TP, or not TP, but a totem pole I'm building. First is our lifestyle at the top of the totem pole. Second is the laws. Third are ladies or love. A lot of times in the United States, they think that the number 1 top of our totem pole is ladies and love. No, the reasons why we left was because of lifestyle, laws, then the ladies in love were involved. Because you now that you have a piece of about yourself, you're losing weight, you're getting slimmer, you're meeting different people of different cultures and different languages, and now you're meeting women. And oftentimes, another misconception that women have in the United States and in Canada and UK, well, those men over there are going to be upset with all you passport bros coming to get their women. Darwin, I'm here to tell you. Guess who introduces us to the women? The taxi driver will introduce you to his niece, his wife's sister, his daughters. The guy at the club, if you dance with a female, dude, I'll often tell the story. I danced with one female. She introduced me to her sister, who I smashed for 6 months. It's like everything is a network in these other countries, because everything is family oriented and community oriented. So whereas in the States, we have a tendency of thinking that everybody's us 4, no more. It's just us in our house, us 4, no more. And so that's the problematic thing that's in the United States. So a lot of times it's the men in these other countries that will introduce you to the ladies in these new locations that you're going to. So remember that the 3 L's are: we leaving because of lifestyle, better lifestyles, laws, better laws, political landscapes, things like that. We ain't got to deal with the mess. And we got so many you got so many tax breaks when you leave the United States. Goodness gracious, man. 98% of all expats file taxes, but don't owe taxes. 98% of us, according to your passport, line 4, you have to file your tax form. But because we get so many tax breaks, 98% of all expats that live outside the United States for up to 330 days of the year, we get $130,000. Our first $130,000 that we make is all tax-free.
Right.
And most of us don't make $130,000. Fortunately, a few of us do, but most of us don't make and don't need to make $130,000 to live in many of these countries. Poland, live in Austria, to live in Germany, to live in Spain, to live in Turkey. So even people don't realize that we go to many of the European locations as well as other locations. And so, like I said, in the third one is the ladies. They do look more fit. They do spend more time in the gym. They do have better genetics. The Afro-Colombian women are gorgeous. The Afro-Brazilian women are gorgeous. So if I remember one time I was doing an interview with some guys and they said, I will only marry a black woman. I said, what country? I said, I don't care about you marrying a black woman, but the key part is don't pigeonhole yourself on the United Plantation, because there are over 96% of black women don't live in the United States.
That is crazy. You know what? I like the fact that the most important thing that stuck out to me were two things: that y'all have actual principles that give the women and the families an ease of mind that y'all are actually coming over there, in good faith, with goodwill. You know what I'm saying? That is something different. And I think the detractors, the people that hate you, they don't want to mention that. They don't want that to be in the message. They just want to see you fail. And you probably said it countless times on your platform. The second thing that I like about it is the layers that you spoke about, the covering, the levels of covering.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a circle of layers that we don't have. Our women are not protected. So when they say women are not protected or men don't protect women, maybe they should shift focus to that, because that would allow them to connect the dots on why we're not protecting you. First of all, you run us out of the household. You know what I'm saying? You take our children away from us. We can't come within arm's reach in a lot of these cases to be able to work as a shield out here. You send them off around other people that's going to be educating them, putting all this stuff in their mind, and it's just hard to deal with it. So that could be the reason why there's a lack of protection for a lot of the women. And this whole thing has just changed my mind completely on, saying the the concepts that I had at first. I just didn't know that the families were doing that. I thought it was, just like any other place, and the women were just, they wanted the real love and they just couldn't find it. But my question to you is have you ever found interest in talking to, some of the locals over there that are like just average men? It's just, I'm curious to know if they have the same dilemma. Like, do the average man get missed by the average women over there?
The average man in other countries, me and my wife talk about this all the time. I talk to average dudes all the time, and they go through here in Colombia, here in South America. For those of us that do talk to average man in Thailand, the average guy, they go through the same dilemmas and dances with their women. We often look at China and Japan. We do videos on China and Japan, and their divorce rate is up like a humongous percent. Like every year, divorce rates are going crazy in Japan, crazy in Thailand. Not in Thailand, but in China. The lack of childbirths is plummeting in those countries, and is due to the fact that a lot of the women are, and this is not a come at the women, but a lot of the women in the East are looking at the women's success in the West. Remember, China and Japan and other parts of Asia, this is like their first wave of economic success over the last 40 years. If you look back at China before we kind of like outsourced everything, and look back at Japan, they were kind of like very humble looking countries. Now, 40 years later, they put their money into infrastructures and just didn't give it to billionaires, and it advanced. Now you got people that have gone, women have come from being humble farm women to being women that have Fendi bags. And the only example of how to live that Fendi bag life were women in the United States. So they looked at the women in the West, the television shows, they watch all our shows, they watch the Sex in the Cities. They want to be like that, but they didn't realize the repercussions that the women in the West were getting, as far as, like in the words of Kevin Samuels, die by a dog, die alone. They didn't realize that was happening. Now in Japan, now in China, and we've done many videos on it. The divorce rates are at an all-time high. Chinese women from Europe are actually going to China, marrying quality Chinese men, not necessarily just rich, because the women in Europe have the money just like the women in the West, but they realize, listen, I need me a quality man. I don't care what culture he comes from. So they're taking some of their money and flying into other locations, to where the women in China, just like the women in the States, are suffering because nobody wants to deal with that feminism. Now, is there feminism here in South America? Yes. Is it as bad as the States? Far from it. It gets stomped out, and it gets stomped out fast. It's treated almost like an outside behavior, or that's something that the young people do. It's not taken as seriously as it is United States, because it's not as rampant. These countries are still extremely traditional, and they teach you that it doesn't take all that to have a good life. I think that's one of the things that I've learned about being and traveling to all these countries, is the fact that these countries don't need, every female doesn't have to have a Fendi bag, and every man doesn't have to have the latest Jordans to have one of the best lives you can imagine. And the irony of it is, with the traditional women, you think, and Americans are often programmed to think that they do all this special stuff for us because we are the 1%ers with the money. Darwin, I will tell you, everything that my wife does for me, she does for her little brother. If you came and sat down at the table, my wife is making you a plate, she's getting you a drink, she's getting you a beer, she's making sure that you're okay. Everything that she does for me, she does out of courtesy for you. So that myth of they're only doing it for us for money, my wife does that. If it's lunchtime and her brother just happened to be on this side of town, she's going in the kitchen and cooking for him. It's the males that they care for, that they cater to. And a lot of guys in the comment section in their countries, whether it be Ronin travelers in the Philippines or Richie Mack in Thailand, these guys' wives and girlfriends do the exact same thing. So it's not about us and our money. They only want you for the money. No, everything she does for me, she does. If a dude that I knew that I was cool with, that didn't have my money, but I said, my boy about to come over, she'd be sitting down. We were watching football games. Andre would grab the beers for both of us and crack those beers open and say, "Do y'all like a glass or some ice?" It's about courtesy. And I think one of the things that we miss in the United States is we don't realize that other countries still have common courtesy. Courtesy doesn't have to be bought like it does in the West. And so that's one of the misconceptions he said, Miss Plum said, yes, we do. It's common courtesy. Some women do, but it's not the norm. And we talk about the norm on this channel. Some women do have courtesy. Many women in the States have courtesy, but it's no longer the norm. It doesn't matter what race, color, creed, size, height. In the States, people come to America for a lot of things. Courtesy is not one of them.
Right.
Care is not one of them. Family dynamic is not one of them. Nobody's flying 8,000 miles to get to American women or even American men. It's us flying.
For economics.
Right. Economics and education.
That's it.
And I even say this to Americans, the 4 F's, why people still stay in the States: fear, finance, family, and fear, finance, family. And I forget what my last F is, but I usually say fear or worry about the outside world because they've never been out there. Family, because you got family responsibilities. Finance, meaning that you may have a job that you are, you kind of like, you don't work online and you work at a brick and mortar job. And fear, family, finance. I hope one of you guys remember what my 4 F's are.
Is it foundation, maybe? I don't know.
No. It's fear, family, finance. I think it's friends.
Somebody said felonies. Now what? What they
Right,
got?
no, not felonies. That doesn't hold you back. If felonies held you back, I wouldn't be here. If any of you guys already know, I did 10 years in the feds. How many guys do you know that own? Many of you who don't know that passport bros, many of us passport bros have had felonies. According to the federal government, as long as you don't have a felony that cross international borders, like you're doing something illegal on an international scale, once you get out, you can get your passport. Another misconception about passports is this, that people actually believe that you can't be on child support and get your passport. You can get your passport even if you owe back child support, as long as you get it down under the federal government's threshold of $2,500. So the day that you get it to less than $2,500, you can apply for your passport, even though you still owe back child support of $2,500, less than $2,500, and you can travel. And I know plenty of guys that have actually done it. Friends, that was the last one. Thank you very much. Friends is the last one. So it's family, finance, fear, and friends. I mean, when I say friends, your comfort zone. A lot of times we're too comfortable to even give ourselves a chance to live somewhere else. I often hear Americans complain, but you are not leaving Mr. Gilmore's plantation. Mr. Gilmore, good white folk. He good, his soil, good land. You ain't gonna leave Mr. Gilmore plantation, especially since many of us who are of African-American descent feel that we have an investment built into the United States and not realize that we as Black people have always been a migratory people. That's why our people have gotten to countries before others have, before Columbus, before the Native Americans. There were Blacks there in Mexico, in the United States, in Greenland, in Europe, all throughout Asia, all throughout Africa, all in South America. Why is that? Because Black people have always been, to a certain extent, a migratory people, whether we migrated in the 60s and 50s from the South to the North, or whether the latest migration of those of us that said the North is too expensive, we're going back down South. We've always been a migratory creature.
I like that. And I guess my question is, do you even think that, this is like night and day between the women over there, or the women across the borders, and the women over here. Like, I hate to say that I have given up hope, but just looking at the numbers, just looking at the research and the studies, I don't see any sign of the women changing the trajectory. I don't know if anything is gonna humble them. The only thing that I see that's humbling the women and the men, or even enlighten the men, that maybe they should, it's just running into a lot of issues and mistakes. And unfortunately, a lot of those issues and mistakes are changing their lives, life changing, like kids and, with the wrong people, injuries, maybe, just getting themselves into digging themselves a hole that they can't really get out.
And
So
it's back to what you
I don't know
said.
the women. Yeah, go ahead.
Back to what you said earlier in regards to everything. We know our country is a corporation. Nothing wrong with that. Make your money. We love making our American dollars. But it piggies back to what you were saying earlier, that somebody is making money off of keeping us separated. There is too much money made now for us to even come back together. Even if we wanted, even if tomorrow morning somebody passed a law that said that cultures, or let's just speak of ours, Black men and Black women, y'all got to work it out by law. There are too many corporate entities that would fight against that law being passed, because there's too much money being made to keep women single. And
15 trillion a year.
Yeah, as long as women are single, it's not ladies. Most of us men, we're gonna find out how to change oil. Okay, we gonna find out how to fix a squeaky door. We're gonna watch a couple YouTube videos. So us men, we're gonna be all right. But a lot of times, ladies, you don't think about doing those certain things, and you'll call a plumber for a small drip that a man knows. All I had to do is take a wrench and just kind of tighten that, and we got it good. So a lot of times corporations making money off the fact that you're alone, you're going out to dinner, and you know, my self date, you're going out to those dating sessions more. You go to the nightclubs more than we do, even though you may get in free, you're still paying for drinks because men aren't buying drinks like that anymore. So a lot of times you ladies are paying the piper for your singleness. And that's why corporations are not going to, I'll say this, and I'll die on this hill. Corporations will never let you ladies get to the point of realizing the value of couples in the West ever again. It is not profitable. The tax money that's made by keeping you separate, instead of you filing taxes as a family unit with children and getting those family tax breaks, you're not going to get those unified tax breaks that a husband, a wife, and a family would get. That's not going to happen. And so as long as they can keep you separate, you're going to pay higher taxes. You're going to always got on the appraisal for the house that you own. You're going to have to pay everything 100%. You better not miss a mortgage payment or the tax payment at the end of every year. So much money that's made off of keeping you ladies single. It's not about black or white or whatever culture, but it really is about the United States. Is about money. We, for example, Darwin, a couple of months ago, when ICE kind of like got released, we did a 2-day video a special on the corporations behind the prisons that ICE are putting people in. So we did a special on a GEO, as well as other, like there's 15 major corporations that run privatized prisons that gave funding or supposedly gave funding to the presidential campaign. And now people think that in the United States, you all think that they're cleaning up the streets because of the immigrants and the anger of the average American. No, they're cleaning up their streets because they're making money. We actually read the full article by some of the CEOs of some of these corporations. They said this, Darwin: we haven't made this much money from prisons since the mass incarceration of the drug war in the 90s under President Clinton.
Damn.
We had the
3 strikes.
Right. When they had the 3 strikes, they said that we had to close hundreds of prisons across the United States. All those prisons are open right now. They're not shipping those people back. They're actually going to be using those people for corporations to make money.
That is crazy, man. And you know what?
Go ahead.
You hit something very heavy on me, man. And this was one of the big reasons why I followed Kevin Samuels' work, because Kevin Samuels figured it out.
Oh, yeah.
He figured it out that women kept single. You know, you got L'Oreal, makeup lines, all of these tech companies and all this stuff are thriving off of women being alone. And typically when women get into marriage or relationships, the spending takes a huge hit, and that hurts consumerism. So they have to keep it up. They have to keep pitching single life. They have to keep advertising independence and all this other stuff. It's just a way to capitalize. And it's sad that the people that are doing it, you would look at their households and they're married with tons of kids and stuff. So the same people behind the product lines that are pushing independence and singleness are going home to their families and passing on generational wealth. And I think Kevin Samuels, what he was doing, he got in trouble. He got in big trouble because he was creating a dent where he was about to go mainstream.
Yes, he was.
And a lot of people realize, like, this dude is a threat. He's putting men and women in the same room and they're coming together. He's figured it out. Like, what are we going to do with him? Now, I don't like to play into conspiracies, but, you know, there's a lot of rumors and talks going around. But
yes, sir.
I think the brother figured it out, and that's what they put a target on his back. Who knows what happened? But the brother actually, you know, took his time and energy day in and day out every week to come deliver, you know, a message. And one would have thought, just looking at his clips, that, hey, look, he hates women, he's bashing. But no, this guy was actually trying to put people together. He had his own private groups where he, you know, filter people in and out, and they would just put them together in the same place. And I was like, I think I can do that. The thing I struggle with, and I don't know if you struggle with this, and this might be, I might get in trouble for this because I got a large male audience.
So do we.
It's not really easy pitching something, a solution to the male audience.
No.
It doesn't really work out the way you think it. It's not really effective. It's something that is going to take time, a long time for me to figure it out. But
yeah,
go ahead.
I learned this in the feds. When I used to give, because I was like my journey was kind of like a Malcolm X, right? I went in one way and came out a completely different person, to where people don't if I never mentioned feds, they wouldn't even recognize that segment of or chapter, right? One of the things I used to do when I was advising guys on how to evolve before they got out, I learned this about men, and I was the teacher in there. I taught GED and I helped guys get into college at that time period when you can get when you're in the feds, you get a master's degree coming out in whatever you want. The college professors will come to our facility. And so one of the things I learned about men is this: men learn, and this is my little saying, men learn on their pillows. Men learn on their pillows. You can say something initially to a man and he ain't gonna want to hear it or get it. It might not be, it may take months on that pillow. It may take weeks on that pillow. It may take years going to sleep, waking up in the morning, and then all of a sudden it clicks in. Paul said in 1 Corinthians, I think 2 Corinthians, he said, one plants the seed, one waters, God gives the increase. You might be a planter, you might be a water, but then you have to wait for it to kind of like show its fruition. And I think a lot of times we who are content creators have to realize that a lot of men having the microphone, women had the microphone since Oprah and Donahue for 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
Now men have the microphone. We've got to be a little bit more patient because this is all new over like a 5 to 10 year experience for men to actually have the microphone. From O'Shea Duke Jackson, Obsidian, Angry Man, all the guys from back in the day, all the way until now with you and I and others. This is brand new when they finally let men have the mic by way of social media, to where women had a 40-year run to get it right. And so that's another reason why I say men learn, or men learn on our pillows. We need to hear it, but then we need that time to kind of like process it.
Yeah.
Think about it. The other thing that men need when it comes to learn on their pillows, they need to see you and I do about it. See, one thing I like about men don't can't nobody just hype men up. Oh man, you a king, you a leader, like the LGBTQ males can hype up women. You are a queen, you don't need no man. LGBTQ males are the worst thing that ever happened to black women. Take it from me. Not LGBTQ itself, but how they don't tell women the truth and hype them up worse than their single friends do. And so, and they believe it because it's a man saying it. So it really has to be true about men. And so, but at the end of the day, a lot of times we have to give men the window of sitting back and watching. Okay, Dre, you said this. Let me see how it works with you. I'm gonna hear what you said, Dre. That might have been true, but let me see how it works out in your life. And I learned that men watch and take their time to learn and to apply longer than women do. Women, as soon as they say
women that go off of their feelings and emotions, and they'll jump right on the train and buy everything that you put out. Men,
absolutely
more calculated. Yeah, they're like, oh, I gotta see where your credibility is. Let me watch you for a little bit.
Absolutely, that's it.
And you know what? You know the crazy thing about what you said, and that helps me a little bit more. That helps me become a little bit more patient. And it also dawns in on me that just being able to have the honor of joining the crew, you guys, in September, down in Miami. That's going to be a way to where we could showcase that, hey, look, we're not just telling you what to do. We're actually going out here and making things happen. You know, we're not just flossing our money. A lot of guys got money. That's not. We're coming together and we're building projects and we're passing on information. We're passing on excellence from one hand to the other, to let you know that we actually genuinely care about each other. So anybody that's running with a rhetoric that black men are not trying to level up, black men are not trying to be leaders, we have a group that is doing it, and it's always going to be under attack. I mean, we just said it earlier. Anytime you're trying to make progression and success in the right direction, there's going to be a lot of haters. There's going to be a lot of people that try to tear you down. But these guys, and I got to tell y'all, whoever's listening on my channel, on this channel, the Black Manosphere Conclave is the place to be. Tickets are selling out across the roof. Try to get down there September. It's every year, so don't worry if you miss it this time. You also can, I think you can watch it on live.
Yes,
What I'm going to be talking about, and I'm not going to give away anything. I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to be talking about real short. I'm going to be talking about mating market evolution between 1960 and 2025. And what I want to do is just articulate the changes that were made between back then, at the height of segregation, going into integration, up until now. What made a man marketable and what made a woman marketable, and how you can see the trajectory and the change and the impact on society, marriages, and all of the things that we got to deal with, all of the challenges we got to deal with. I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to showcase a lot of some of the things that I got going on in the back. You know, I got Dominance by Design. I don't want to plug nothing right now because, you know, a lot of people don't like when you get on their show and start advertising.
Oh, we're here for the plug on this channel. We love the plug. Plug away, brother. One of the reasons why I invited you on the show is because I heard about on one of your live stream, not one of your videos in which you were talking about the 21 questions.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I want to hear about that, and then I want guys to hear about that, and I also want guys to hear about some of the new things that you brought to the table that you want to be working with men over the last couple of weeks. Because I forgot what the name of the next thing. I heard about the 21 questions, and then I was watching another video, and you said that you're going to be implementing something else soon. So some of the things that you've already implemented, share with us. Let us know so we can be involved in it as well.
So I got 2 ebooks, and those ebooks are free. You have the 21 questions that you must ask a woman so you can communicate clear expectations so you don't get played, she don't get played. You can get the outcome that you desire. She can get the outcome she desired. There's 21 of those. There's another ebook called 7 Mistakes Men Make. And I'm just basically harping on a lot of the things we talked about red flags. I would say one of the most critical mistakes that is kind of in a bonus behind the mentorship group that I'm running through, Dominance by Design. And it's typically for the younger guys, because the younger guys, I think the most important decision these guys got to make is you have to get out of the game early, because if you wait too late, if you build your empire, it's going to be extremely hard for you to invite a woman in with the amount of years of experience and trauma and baggage she has as she ages. So you may indeed become a guy that crosses the borders. So the important decision a young man have to make is you see that little beautiful woman that you're sitting across at the caf on college campus during dinner, that's your woman right there. If she's beautiful, she's had limited experience, maybe no experience if you meet her as a freshman, and just capitalize on that. But talking to a lot of these young athletes, because I'm an athlete myself, I'm talking to a lot of guys that go off to college. A lot of these guys are hitting on the genetic markers that make it really hard for them to conquer their desires, to conquer their fleshly lusts, because they're having so many women throwing themselves at them because they're athletes. And that's the thing that I'm struggling with, trying to cultivate a solution around that. It's very hard to do that because even I myself, I'm 6'4", 210 pounds, and I played college ball too. I'm still jumping out of the gym today. And I can tell you, man, it's a really difficult thing to navigate whenever you have so many beautiful young women in college, and you just don't want to make the selection. You want to be able to conquer the world. It's a very difficult thing to do. But then when you run a risk of missing out on somebody that's right in front of you, and then you try to find a similar woman whenever you actually get to your bag, you're on the grind and you have success. And a lot of these women, they come with kids, they come with baggage, they come with trauma. A lot of them, I think the most difficult thing to deal with these women is they try to come into the relationship and set the terms. They want to set the term. They want the relationship to be ran on their terms, and that's just not. Men are just not willing to sign up for that deal because we already have it. We already have a disadvantage against us on the back end in the event everything fails. And then now you're asking me to let you set terms on how to run a relationship where you're going to be the beneficiary whenever the shit fall apart.
True.
So a lot of men are just not wanting to do that, and that's what a disconnect is. So another thing, I have the Dominance by Design course. It's a course. It's got 7 videos. I'm not a fan of just throwing a whole bunch of videos and trying to charge high ticket. But it's a course that I'm giving away a lot of gems that I wouldn't be able to, or I wouldn't give away in my content. And then there's an upsell into a group. I'm trying to build a group, a community, my own little small project of men, because I got access to a really decent network because I worked in corporate America. I was in the military. I'm around a whole bunch of content creators, especially out here in Atlanta. You got the lead attorney out here, one of my buddies. So I got guys that are subject matter experts all the way from image. You got image and style. You got the styleology. You got the lead attorney. He's a 20-year retired attorney. I got a guy that works in finance, very wealthy. One of them is Rich Get Richer. He's really big. Blockchain, Willie Blockchain Beeman, a young dude is a millionaire, really like over a short amount of time. And then I got some guys in fitness and a guy that knows how to communicate. Communications expert. Focuses on men's masculine charisma. So these guys keep pushing me like, hey, look, man, when are you going to do it, man? Sometimes you just got to stop doing all these damn reaction videos and get to the punch. Market what the value that you can bring so that we can start getting these men out of this disgruntled state and move on past the BS. We don't have to keep sitting in this shit, in this crap. Sorry for cussing on you.
No. You're right.
We don't have to keep sitting here being stagnant. There's ways out. Because I would argue that even me and you, regardless if it's overseas or over here, if the things didn't work out between us and our women, we have the necessary tools to be able to go out there and get a woman again, based off our knowledge. We just want to share that. Well, we have obviously you and I have oppositions in the space, and they insert themselves in the space, and they're fighting against it. They're telling you no, there is no way to win. There is no way to. The women are unruly. Yeah, we know, but there's a way to hack it, the system. There's a way around it. You can go overseas, or you can use some of the methods that I'm going to be pushing to be able to make it work here. But most importantly, if you're a young man, you got to capitalize on the woman in front of you, young, and grow with her. Because if y'all both build y'all empire together, there's no talks about, oh, you're a gold digger, you coming in my life, you want to take my ass. No, both of y'all built that. And that's what I'm just trying to push right now.
That's a good point when you said when you guys are trying to, that, we're all trying to help men get out of this disgruntled state. It's one thing to stay in the slop of complaints and look at what she did, look at what she did, look what she did. And one of the things that I often mention when it comes to women in the States, personally, off camera, I have no complaints. The reason why I have no complaints about the women that I've dated in the States, because the type of women that I circle myself with, whether it was for one night, like Luther Vandross, or whether it was in a long-term relationships or marriage, I don't put myself around ladies. I've always been attracted to ladies, not women. So she could be a lady in the street, freaking a bed type of woman. But the type of women that men are complaining about in the United States, in all sincerity, I can't relate to, because when I was in the States, I never was in that circle. I don't know what it's like to be with a woman that doesn't care about her health. I don't know what it's like to be with a woman that is, I'm Miss Independent. I don't know what it's like to be with a woman that doesn't know how to be there for the family dynamic. I don't know. I know that things have changed since I've been going for almost a decade. I understand that. But what I am saying is there are a bunch of us men that need help, but there are a lot of us men that are helping, even though we didn't go through the turmoil of a lot of guys. And it is a turning point that I'm starting to see, where guys like you and others are saying, okay, guys, enough with the complaints. We get it. All the women aren't perfect, but all the men aren't perfect either. And so, but in other words, what are we going to do about it? And one of the things that guys are starting, and it's kind of funny, Darwin, you'll see this, that you'll notice. The man that is problematic in the States with a stateside woman can go to another country, meet another woman, and all the things that the woman in the United States asked for, he does it for a woman in another country. But here's the kicker. Because all the things he asks for, he gets from a woman in the other country. If women in the United States understood that men have no problem with paying for this, paying for that, traveling here, traveling there. Many of us have women that we travel around the world with in other countries. Then why don't we do it with our American women? Just like you said, reciprocation, appreciation, respect. Since we know that ROI is different, I'm not spending my money with a group of women that I know the ROI is not what I expect. But men aren't stingy in other countries. Men do want to be in relationships. Those who do want to be in relationships, not everybody, but those that do, we are finding really good solidified relationships. There are tons of brothers and others, such as myself, that are married to women around the world. It's not a coincidence that global interracial relationships and global interracial children are on a climb group. I'll say that again. The fastest growing group of marriages globally, if you put it statistically compared to each other, are interracial couples. The fastest group, even in the United States, of children being born, the fastest statistic group that's growing are children that are biracial. Because people are starting to realize I don't owe my group anything. So maybe I do want to be with a black woman. So I pick one from Nigeria, or I pick one from Morocco, or I pick a woman from Egypt, or I pick one from Brazil, who are which have, America only has I forget, 10, 15 million, not 10, 15 million, but 20 million black women. But you have over 50 million in Brazil alone. And so you're like, listen, wait a minute, I ain't got to deal with no weaves. I ain't got to deal with no bonnets. I ain't got to deal with no bad smell coming from her body. She knows how to cook. I ain't got to correct her because her mama and daddy gonna be doing all that. And she comes from a good culture, and they've got foods that aren't in my country. They've got fresh air, fresh water. Brazil is the 5th growing economy and the strongest economy in the world. You mean I could still be in a country with a strong economy? And so a lot of guys are looking at from, calculating because we calculate the wins and losses. We put it on the scale and realize, why stay in a country such as our country, 'tis of thee, when we know you get a banger bang for your buck with your whole life in all of these other countries.
Right.
That's and I even tell that to the elderly.
You know what I noticed? This thing about the reciprocation and the women becoming unagreeable. It's when hypergamy becomes a curse. Usually hypergamy works as a benefactor for women whenever they're going for the strongest, survival. There's all these other things. They want to get the best option they can. But the curse is women haven't been trained on how to turn it off once they get in a relationship. So they still have their radar and their options open while they're in a relationship with a guy that's doing well. And then they start to get lazy as far as the reciprocation. And it's almost like the social media wave that came in. It gave women even more illusion of options. And then whenever they go on social media and they post photos and stuff, and they get all the likes and all of the comments that you wouldn't be able to keep up with. It's very hard for a man to keep up with the amount of attention and engagement these women are getting, even in their relationships. A lot of them are getting so much. I've seen, I can't tell you how many beautiful women I see. Their men is not even in the picture, but they're clearly sitting at a dinner table across from the man.
Good point.
But they posting a picture as if they're still on the market. And they're doing it intentionally. These women are smart. These women are stupid. They know what they're doing. So it's almost as if a woman bit a forbidden apple or fruit and her eyes became open. And she's in this cycle is never ending. It's a continuing cycle of, I know for a fact it's greener on the other side. My friends are telling me, the LGBT men are telling me, and social media is telling me. So no, I won't shut up. And if I'm not happy, I'm out. There is no shame in exiting the relationships anymore. And I'm not off the hook. A lot of people say, damn, man, you married. Why are you talking about that? I can be transparent. I have a wife. I took the safety measures, the precautions, because I got friends that are attorneys. But that doesn't remove the fact that women's feelings and their mindset will change, especially if she's in a landscape, if she's in a society where there's a lot of external pressures. I don't know if you remember, you're older than me, you're OG. I look up to guys like you. You guys probably remember the era, the newspaper era, where
Correct.
everybody got the same story and everybody had the same understanding of a political figure. Everybody got the same news, the headlines. Now, me and my wife can live in the same household, the same home. She'll get a different algorithm on her phone than me, which gives her a different perspective or ideology or understanding of how life is. And we can have a conflict with each other. You get what I'm saying?
Correct.
We can have two different ideologies. Women should do this. No, women shouldn't do that. The women are subject to the entertainment, the media that they ingest. A lot of black women, especially, sadly, have sold their image and their perception of themselves to the media in exchange for resources. And it comes at the expense of how the black woman is portrayed in reality. So, and then the women are still watching it, knowing that it's that. And then they got the nerve to say, why do you look at it as sex objects? Well, that's what you're marketing. That's what you're marketing. What are we supposed to? And then you wonder why you're the least desired across all dating apps, because other races are not checking for you. You have to win back your image and your perception by declining the messaging that's being pushed about you. And that's what I be trying to tell women. They don't want to hear that. They still want you to be like, oh, well, you just got to get me, know me. No, a lot of guys are taking these precautions and they're paying attention to patterns of behavior and they're just checking out. You got to understand that is a way that we protect our mind and our peace of mind. So there's so many other things. And the reason why I say I'm not off the hook, because I live in a society where divorce is happening way too frequently. And women, they go through changes in their feelings. They get postpartum. A lot of people don't understand postpartum clarity. You may have heard of post-nut clarity, but postpartum clarity, it's a term that I coined, I believe. I'm not going to go on the record and say that but I will say this, I haven't heard it nowhere else. So I'm going to own it. And this thing about postpartum clarity is different than post-nut clarity. Post-nut clarity, you get your thing off and it hits your mind. I mean, I really don't want to be with this woman. Let me go ahead and chunk the deuce. Let me get on up out of here. But postpartum clarity doesn't kick in until after birth.
Wow.
So a lot of these women don't realize that they with a dude that they don't want to be with. He ain't about nothing until they already had his child. So then you start connecting the dots and figure out why so many women are realizing that they don't want to be there after they had your kid. And then you wonder why the rate of single motherhood is so high. If nobody talks about postpartum clarity, because like we said before, it's a winning business for a lot of people that are benefiting in the industry. So no, don't talk about it. Let them keep going through it. Don't teach it in schools. Don't teach it in psychology. Leave it off the table. But there's a few things that are going to happen. Oh, I'm still here. You still hear me?
Yeah, you're still here. Yeah, I'm still here.
Something happened.
I'll put you on a solo.
There's a couple things that can still happen because there's this notion that black men or men are getting women pregnant and creating a single mother household, or single parents are creating baby mom culture. We're responsible. I get it. It takes two to tango. Men got to wear protection. But even if, let's just say, both came together and were sexually irresponsible during intercourse, and there's a few things that's going to happen. One, the man, he doesn't have any control after that. Once you release your seed, that's it. It's all under her control. But the thing that women don't realize, they try to jump right into birth. Between the time they get ejaculation inside of them and they jump straight into birth, like there's nothing else that take place, and they don't want to talk about it. I can't tell you how many times I've been on TikTok in these spaces with these women, and they don't want to talk about the steps that lead up to birth. First of all, you got conception. There's remedies for that. And I'm not trying to push all these other agendas. I'm just giving you an understanding of the reality.
Correct.
You have conceptions. You got, I don't know if you can say, you got deletion. And then another thing, this also stops you from becoming a single mother. You too might get committed and get into a relationship and get married. I had a lot of friends that had kids first, and then they got engaged and got married. So it can happen. There's so many other things that's happening. You can't just put it on a man, because I don't know a lot of men that are saying, hey, look, I want you to have my kid. You know what I'm saying? And then run away from taking care of it. It just doesn't work. I just don't. Sorry about that. I don't know if you saw that bubble with
I saw it, but I like that.
Yeah, I don't understand. Wait, what? I don't know what that is. But anyways, there's not a lot of men coming into and say, hey, look, that don't have any means of taking care of a kid and say, I want to have a kid, and then dip out on her. It's just not making any sense. So, and I don't want to ramble too long. Pass the mic to you.
But that goes back to I'm going to give you a stat before I go back to what you were saying about what's going on in the States. There's a stat that just recently came out in regards to divorce rate of men that marry women in other countries. The passport bro marriage divorce rate. The average divorce rate in the United States, for those that don't know, is between 50 to 57% on average. For those that are in blended families, in other words, stepmom, stepdad, it is a 66% chance that you're going to get a divorce. I'm going to say this again. Statistics, and this was done by a law firm. You have a 66% chance if you're a stepmom or a stepdad to get a divorce. Here's the part that's going to get you. I'm going to send you this article to Darwin, where I got my stats from. Among those divorces of blended family, stepmom, stepdad, men, now it's the traditional divorces, men only file for divorce 20% of the time. In a stepmother, stepfather scenario, men file for the divorce 61% of the time. Whereas in a normal divorce, men only file for divorce only 20% of the time. Now that's in the West, in the United States.
Wow.
For those of us, yeah, I'm going to send you the article where I got it from. Like I said, and they tell you why men do this. Like they don't have a defined role in the marriage, being disrespected. They say that even though men file 61% of the time, when they did a survey of stepmothers, 75 of stepmothers said, I may not file for the divorce, but I will never do this again in life. 75% of stepmothers said, I will never be a stepmom again. And so I'll send you that article, and because we use it, because I often share the articles and everything with other guys as well. But when it comes to those of us who have gotten our passports, relocated to other countries, built new lives, because the 3 L's, lifestyle, laws, and love, we only have a 15 to 20% divorce rate. I'll say that again. For all the people that want to complain about passport bros and what we do. Now, we're not talking about the weekend warriors that go out players, go out and having their fun. We're not talking about the sex pats that go out and have their fun. We're talking about solidified relationships of men and women in other countries, and our divorce rate is only 15 to 20% of us. If I married a Chinese woman, I've got a 15 to 20% divorce rate because of how we blend compared to maybe even how she would blend with her own people. If I married a Colombian woman like I did, I have a 15 to 20% divorce rate, even though Colombia only has a 9% divorce rate. If I married a woman from Brazil or whatever it may be, parts of Africa, I have only a 15 to 20% chance of a divorce. But if I married one of my own sisters, or if I married a white woman in the United States or a Latin woman in Canada, I've got a almost 60% chance that is going to end up in a divorce. So who's winning? The guys with the passports or the guys that are still back on the plantation?
The guys with the passports. And my question to you is, because I did a video, I don't know if you saw it. It kind of went viral. No, actually, it did go viral. I was talking about a new order that Trump passed, because I was talking to some
I
attorneys.
did a reaction to that one too.
Yeah, I was talking to some attorneys, and attorneys was like, you know what? A lot of people don't know this, but if you just read between the lines and don't really change anything, but if you're an attorney reading it from the mind or the eyes of an attorney, you could spin that. When these women get out of order or get out of line, these women can end up deported. Now, there might be some things you got to do on the back end that nobody not know about, but if you got the right legal team, it works as a way to correct them or hold them accountable. But I know you don't. I know you don't recommend. I think a lot of guys don't recommend bringing the women back over here because of
no. Rule number 1, passport bros. Everybody knows. Don't bring them back. Some guys do, but those aren't passport bros.
But even to your argument, even the guy, the phenomenal thing about it is even the guys who do bring them back, they still have a lower divorce rate than the guys over here. And it's only 18-19% over here versus 60-70% or whatever percentage. It's extremely lower than the norm. So even though you bring the women back, you still got a high chance of still being able to, maintain a marriage. And the only things that I found that that happens is if you send her to work and she starts smelling herself, and she get her bag, she never had that kind of money. Oh shoot, man, I don't got to put up with this. It's almost like in real time, fast paced. Women coming into the workplace in real life back in when was it, the 50s or 40s or 60s?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Women being able to open up bank accounts and stuff. It was like that in real time. You know what I'm saying? So it's inevitable, like that they're gonna have that thought, like I might be able to just sustain on myself. So that's the risk you run.
And the funny part, piggybacking off of what you mentioned in that video, the reason why we were able to relate to everything that you said, and we were able to, we pulled up that letter, we broke it down. I broke down exactly what it meant, because everything that they're doing, that Trump is doing, that's what they already had here in Colombia. I had to do all that. I had to show photos of me and my wife. I had to show videos of me and her family. I had to show pictures and videos of me by myself. Do everything that Trump is planning on doing to solidify, to make sure that people aren't coming to America for green cards and now making green cards probationary, a 2-year probationary green cards. Same thing with me. I had to do all that. I had to do a live interview. I kid you not, me and my wife, it was during COVID. And so we couldn't go anywhere, but we're in bed and all of a sudden we get a call at 8:30, right, Darwin? and they said, well, we're going to do your interview for your visa right now. And we were like, what? You've got 10 minutes. What? So we're jumping out of the bed, getting ourselves together. We had to put our laptop up front, and then all the things that you talked about that Trump plans on doing to curtail false or fake relationships or fake marriages coming into the United States. It's the same thing that many countries, including Colombia, already have in place. And so that's what we talked about. And I told the guys, I say, everything that Darwin is saying, I already went through. And I went through this, I went through that, I had to do this, I had to do that. And even though we were married, there were 15 things that she could divorce me because of. If I stop doing this, if I don't do that, it's like 15 things that they break down that if I did not do, I could lose at that time period, my wife could file for the divorce, and I could lose my marriage visa. So I understood exactly what was going on, and I'm glad that I'm personally glad that America is finally waking up to what other countries are doing, and people can't fake marriages as much as they thought that they could anymore. And I'm glad that so I hope that over the next 10 years, Americans stop complaining about people. They only come in here for a green card, where they can't do that anymore, because the green card right now is probationary under a 2-year auspices, and that person can lose that green card. And here's the other part that we found out about that law that you were talking about. Once the 2 years are up, that person's working, everything is fine. You have 90 days to file for a permanent green card. If you forget to file for your permanent green card for your wife in the United States, ICE can knock on your door and take your wife. Even though she hadn't done anything wrong, you hadn't done anything wrong, but you forgot to file for her permanent green card within that last 90 days of her temporary 2-year green card. Yeah, that law is so extensive, and it's needed. And so I'm an advocate of it.
I'm an advocate of it too. And whenever I was doing my research, putting the content together, I started seeing a lot of women that come overseas were kind of angered about it. Specifically, I think the ones that are contestants on the TV show called The Bachelorette. Because his immigration policies impacted the production. You know, they put tariffs on the films and all that other stuff. And a lot of those relationships are, let's say I guess if they connect, and I haven't got too far into it, and the relationship is not real, what do you think is it? These women are on the radar. These women can get deported. So it's a slippery slope playing these dating games and marriage games. And then you're on a record on TV, having an affair. Yo, you gone.
Oh, brother, I'm telling you, and when they checked me out, they were thorough. And if I wasn't on point, I was not going to get my visa to stay here in Colombia.
I guarantee, I can assume that the technology over there in America, that how meticulous they are, they probably
yeah. They were very meticulous. And back to what you were saying earlier about the women in the West make the terms. Women in other countries, many of us can put in the comment section, hey guys, do me a favor. You guys who have traveled to other countries or dated in other countries or in relationships with other countries, put in the comment section, and I'll put one as well, if your masculinity is expected of you in other countries. Because women in other countries expect you to be the one with the terms, to be the problem solver, protector, penis, as well as a provider. Put a 1 in the comment section thank you, gentlemen. If women in other countries feel comfortable being feminine because you are expected to approach. You are like here in Colombia, you don't ask a woman to dance. You just put your hand out. You don't say, would you like to dance? No, you put your hand out. You don't even have to look her in the eyes. You just put your hand out. And all of a sudden you see her hand put in yours. You just lift her up and you just walk into the dance floor. Your masculinity is expected. Why? so she could walk 100% in her femininity. Women in other countries do not feel comfortable walking in this, I'm Miss Independent, you can't tell me. That's in the West. You have fun with that in the West. There are a few women trying to pretend like they can trickle down and do it, but they don't. But they don't. But most women in other countries feel at ease that they can walk in their ladylikeness, in their soft-spokenness, in their femininity. Not saying that they're perfect. No, nobody's perfect. But your masculinity is expected. A woman is expecting you to be masculine. The other thing that doesn't happen in many countries is the concept of a one-night stand. That's another thing that tarnishes the image of many women in the West. You can come into Colombia or Brazil. Yes, you'll find party girls that will sleep with you to one night. Yes, they will.
They're gonna make you pay.
Scammers, pay for play. But the average woman in many of these countries, you're not sleeping with a one-night stand. And the average guy will tell you, I've never experienced a one-night stand. I don't know what that is. I've never slept with wait a minute, you 40-something in your own country, you've never slept with and you're single, you've never slept with the woman on the first, bro, other than a scammer or a party girl or a low-life, beautiful bottom feeder? Yes, but the good women, you are not going to sleep with on the first night. To whereas in the United States or in Canada or UK, she can be an excellent catch.
Sexually liberated.
Still sleep with her. Yep, slept sexually liberated, and you can still sleep with her on the first night. Yeah, absolutely correct, Kings. They expect masculinity and they respect it. It's just expected of you. It's not like you got to pretend like you're masculine. I'm not talking about big arms, I'm talking about the part that makes you a man. Right. Provision, problem-solving skills, protecting in the intimacy, the penis. And if you can steal that one if you want to. You can steal them for. So,
I'm gonna promote it. I'm gonna let them know my man Andre sponsored that or kicked that up, champion that.
And so because you're expected of to be the problem solver. You're supposed to be able to sit back and know when to solve a problem and when to sit back and just listen to your wife. Just she needs to just release something.
Right.
You're expected to be the protector. Your job is not only to protect her from outside entities, it's also to protect her from you when it comes to some things that you might be dealing with from the past, but to also protect her from her. Sometimes your wife needs you to be a protector by way of an advisor. Yeah. My wife has often said on this channel, my husband is my mentor. He's not just my husband, he's my mentor. He's my example of that's what she said. That's why I married an older man. It comes with mentor benefits. I can sit back and he can help me solve problems or protect me from me. You are expected to be her intimacy. I should not be able to get your wife on our third shift. I should not be able to sleep with your wife take it from me, in the mop hall, in the mop closet.
Janitor's closet.
Right. I should not be able to put your wife in the back of my Ford F-150 on lunch break, which I've done many a day. So these things are expected of you in other countries, to whereas in the United States, if you show any form of those four other than provision, if you try to show problem-solving skills, you're shut down. If you try to show protective skills, you're shut down. If you try to show I'm into you, you get cheated on. As the penis, you get cheated on or accused of cheating. They only embrace you if you are a provider in some form or fashion. That's why statistically in the United States, over 30% of all dates are women that only come for the food. They don't even go on dates for you guys. In other countries, in Europe, they have walking dates where your first date can be a walk. In Colombia, what is it? Ice cream dates, coffee dates. Coffee, a regular everyday coffee date. And you'll meet that special person, and in 3 days, guys, put a 1 in the comment section if I'm lying. In South America, or if I'm telling the truth, I'm put a 1. You guys can attest to this. Is it not in South America, you're going to meet that family within the first week? Is it not in South America, you will meet that family in the first week to 2 weeks? They do not wait for you to sit back and meet the family. They want you to meet the men, the circle of men and the circle of women who are going to interview you. And dude, you'd have thought, hey, Darwin, you'd have thought I was being interviewed by the mob. Her dad sat there. Dude, he was in a rocking chair sitting there. First thing he said, there's only one God. I said, yeah, no, it's only one God. And he said, well, my daughter, and this is his eldest child and baby girl. And because so many men who have passports come and misuse foreign women, whether it be for partying, whether it be for weekend having fun, whether it be for pay for play, the regular women's families see this and they're like, no, you won't be doing our daughter like that, foreigner. And so a lot of foreign families will not allow Americans to date their daughter. If you are American, Canadian, UK, there are a lot of countries that have a lot of families that's like, we've seen what you've done to other men's daughters. You won't do that to ours.
Absolutely.
Hey, Darwin, my wife's family didn't believe I was real until I said, I'll be back for Christmas. What? Yeah, I'll be coming back for Christmas. Well, wait a minute. Okay, let's process of elimination. If he comes back down here for Christmas, that means he doesn't have a wife, doesn't have a girlfriend, he ain't got no kids he take care. Okay, let's see.
That's some creative thinking right there.
Because they're so used to circling around their women.
So what do you? So I gotta ask, man. You're probably the only one that I've heard that promote and champion being able to expand your options past the country you live in. But you're probably the only one, and it could just be premature, just going out on the whim and saying this, but you're probably the only one who are pushing to be legit about going over there in good faith. Like, do you ever get pushback, or do you ever get conflict with other creators who are passport bros that are blatantly, obviously pushing that? Look, man, these women cost only $20, $40. Do you ever get in collision with that?
Yeah, I do. I get a lot. And I'll keep it to I often don't bring it to the audience. I keep it to myself. Me and Andrea talk about it. But when we first started Love Crossing Borders in 2019, the YouTube channel, we knew that Andrea and I often say this: there's two sides to every bridge, and there's two sides to every coin. We knew when we started a couple serious relationship channel for expats, it wouldn't be that many people over here. And it wasn't. It was just me, a couple of other YouTuber couples, and that was it. Everybody was on the party side, on the other side of the bridge. Everybody was on the other side of the bridge where you can get the women for $20. You could do have all this fun, and you could party and go to the beach and travel to this country, travel to that. I got, look at all these women I got. And it was tons of brothers and ladies too on that side, right? But it was just a few of us. And over time, we started seeing people trickling over to this side. And they start saying, okay, I came to Colombia, I had fun with the ladies, but I really like this country. What do? I came to Thailand, I had fun with the ladies, but I really do like Thailand. What do I need to do? So we just waited. We just waited for guys that really wanted real relationships with real countries. That's why we say Love Crossing Borders is here to help you find love, to find you love cross borders, or help you fall in love with the borders that you cross. Because some people don't fall in love with a person in the new country, they fall in love with the new country. And so we're here for people that want to fall in love with new countries and not just with a new person in a country. And a lot of times when they fall in love with a new country, they meet somebody that they're solidified with. The other reason why you only hear me and only a few of us that are out here speaking from this perspective, there are a few of us, but most, you cut the cameras and the lights off, and there are thousands of Black men around the world that are living some amazing lives. I mean, I meet guys that I thought was gone 2 years ago, and I'll see them 3 years later, 2 years later, they're happily married with a kid. I'm like, man, I thought you were going back home to the States. No, man, remember me? I met so-and-so and so-and-so on my first date. Yeah. Man, we got married, man. We had our first last. So there are hundreds upon thousands of black men in Germany, thousands of black men in Southeast Asia, thousands of black men in South America and Central America that have beautiful relationships, or they have a beautiful relationship with a country, meaning that, okay, I didn't find a boo over here, but I found over here. And so they're like, I love Panama. I love Costa Rica. And they love it like a person back in the States would love a woman, because they're like, listen, now I can get medical and I don't have to go broke. Now I live in Europe and the ambulances are free, and the medical field is not expensive like it is in the States. Now I'm in Southeast Asia and the food is healthier. And if I'm in the military, they've got military hospitals and military bases around here that I can have medical treatment. Now I live in Brazil and I can get my degree from University of Michigan or University or whatever, and I can do that online, finish that goal, because now I have a gift called time. Compared in the States, I didn't have time. Now, if times get tight for me, because sometimes times just get tight for a person, whether it be their health, whether it be their economics. But I'm gonna tell you something: when you live outside the United States, guys, put a 1 in the comment section if you've ever spent time outside the United States, or you are currently outside the United States. When times get stressful, it ain't never as stressful as when you back home in Canada, the United States, or UK. You can have a bad day, but it ain't never as bad as it is in the United States. And that's the beauty of the 3 L's. We leave for lifestyles, new lifestyles. We leave because we don't have to deal with the laws in the States anymore. And we know, and yes, we leave for the ladies, but also for love. And those are the 3 reasons why we relocate. But nobody wants to talk about the lifestyle part. I remember Dr. Bobby Price. Bobby Price is a very well-known brother that's on YouTube. He's a doctor. He used to work for the FDA. Somebody asked him one day, he said, Dr. Price, can I ask you a question? He was like, yeah. He's right around your age. And Bobby said, great YouTuber. And they said, if you ever got cancer, what would you do? And the guy was like, said like a trick question. He said, if I ever got cancer, he said, the first thing I would do is leave the United States. And the guy said, what? He said, yeah, that's the first thing I would do, hands down. He said, why? He said, cancer lives off of stress. United States is one of the most noise polluted stressors in the world. United States, as far as your working environment, is stressful. Relationships are stressful. Just talking to the average stranger and saying hi walking down the street can be stressful. You've got children being deleted in mass in church. That's stressful. He said, cancer survives in a stressful environment first. I have to remove myself from a country of stress. A lot of us talk about when we get back on the plane, the first thing that's waiting for you in the airport in Miami is not your family, it's not your friends, it's stress. It's like it's been sitting there waiting for you to say, hey, Dre, where you been? All of us go through it. Every one of us have experienced the stress. Darwin, there are so many of us, man, that cry when we get back on the, I cried. Put a 1 in the comment section if you know somebody that cried or you cried the first, second, or third time when you went back to the United States or Canada. Put a 1 in the comment section if you cried or you knew somebody, one of your boys cried when he had to go back to the States. I know I put my 1 in there. Don't act like I'm the only one, because we've done this one before. A lot of guys actually shed tears when they go back to the United States because it's so stressful. There you go.
Dang, that's deep.
You not realize the beauty of when you leave and you're around new cultures, and it doesn't take that much money to live a beautiful, wonderful life. And a lot of you guys, I've heard people say, y'all living in studio apartments. I'm like, what? Are you crazy? Do you know how much you can get for the bang for your buck for just $50,000? You can get a condo off the beach in Cartagena. You can get you for $100,000 a beautiful condo in Medellin, to where you have to pay on average in the United States $413,000 is the average cost of a house in the United States. You really expect me to stay in a country that's so stressed out that I would still be stressing for 30 years to pay $413,000 to pay this house off? I could have bought 5 Airbnbs with that and 2 homes, one in the country and one in the city, and still had some change left. And that's why channels such as ours promote lifestyle first. And whenever I go on a panel, I listen to the people talk, and I listen talk about Passport Bros and talk about the ladies. And I sit back, and then when they say, Andre, what do you have to say? And I say, it's not about, and I said this on Mr. Let Go's show, and he understood. I say, it's not about the ladies, it's about the laws. I said, you can find you a good lady in the United States, but you can't find good laws. You can find you a great wife in the United States, but when it comes to divorce and separation, you cannot find good laws. We left, many of us left because of the marriage and the unbalanced laws. So when people sit back and say, y'all don't care about, that's not true. We'd already slept with many of you ladies in the United States, many a night, many a moon, because a lot of you women that make the 6 figures, no offense, you slept with me not because you like me. You slept with me that night because you was lonely. You got tired of the other side of the bed being cold. And so this night you wanted a warm body on the other side. And because I'm 6'3" and I'm humorous and I'm charming, and I'm handsome, that's good enough. And you halfway drunk, that's good enough. And I got a one-night stand with you in your 5-bedroom house. And I've done that one plenty of times. So when women sit back and say that Passport Bros don't sleep with the women that got 6 figures, that's a lie. Because I work with a lot of y'all, and I've slept with a lot of you ladies. And I'm here to tell you, we didn't leave because we weren't getting quantity. We left because we weren't getting quality. And we take the same thing that we wanted to give to you, problem solving, penis, protection, provision, and we're just doing it in another country. We're not changing. We're still traditional men. You could drop us in the 1950 and we'll still be protectors, problem solvers, the penis, and the provision. We'll still be those men. We just so happen to say, let's go to other countries where we can get a better ROI, since we're expected to do these 4 things anyway, no matter where we live.
Absolutely. That's what's up. That's dope.
Yeah, man, be crying, man. I cried, man. My wife cried, her mama cried, her dad saw everybody crying, grandma started crying.
So what do you do about family? Like, you got like brothers, uncles, cousins.
Yeah, visit them, go to the States and visit them, or we live in an era of technology. So I'm talking to my sister all the time. My mom and everybody else passed on. And then I'm originally from Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland area. So when I moved to Florida for 14 years, nobody came to visit me. Nobody came down to see me except my sister one time. So it was an easier transition because I didn't live. And a lot of us are like that. A lot of us are guys that have been married at one point in time, divorce happened. It happens, no complaints. But we realize there's life after a divorce.
What part of Cleveland were you living in Cleveland?
Yeah, I was living in Cleveland like forever. I was EC. I was in East Cleveland.
Man, I was born in Cleveland, and I left Cleveland in 1996 when my granddad was passing away with cancer because he worked at a Ford company out there, and that's back when they had the chemicals out there that would.
Yep.
Yeah, I live off of
factory was literally just a small cheesecake bakery back in Cleveland.
Oh yeah, I live off of Miles.
I know exactly where you are.
Harvard.
Yep.
And over there by Garfield Heights and all that other stuff.
Yep.
And my dad is he's a DJ, a grand master. His name is DARWYNN MCPHERSON, but he go by DJ L Dog.
Uh-huh.
And he was the one who trained up my younger brother. We got different mothers, but we got the same father. His name is Daryl. They call him DJ Darrell. He's the DJ he DJ'd for the Migos whenever the Migos were up trending. He still DJ for Quavo out here in Atlanta. That's one of the big reasons why I moved down here to Atlanta to hang out with a lot of family members that lived in the South, because I was in Virginia when me and my wife got out of the military. She was in the Marine Corps and I was in the Army, and we had gotten out, and I started working for engineering. The same company is called Deister Electronics, the same company that creates the push to start. They innovated the push to start in the vehicles. They're the ones who came up with it. So I worked there in Manassas, Virginia. This was in DMV. And once, we got our disabilities squared away and all that other stuff, and I had opportunities to come out here, I can't tell you, man, the housing market over there in Virginia, I know it's probably tough up there the further north you go, but we got a house for about $515,000 here, but it cost me almost $900,000 in Virginia for lesser square feet. For this same house would have been almost close to $1 million, and I was like, "There's no way I can buy a house in Virginia." It was like you almost had to go to Texas, Florida, or Georgia to buy a house. So, yeah,
absolutely.
Man, I've been back. I think the last time I went back was maybe in 2015, 2016 or something like that. I went. It's cold up there. Lord.
That's another thing I don't miss.
Oh my God, it was so freezing out there. We went during the wintertime too. I got sick and everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man, it's a blizzard. I don't know, remember them blizzard where do you remember you had the snow come up to your kneecap. You gotta walk with them big old boots on, and they got the first down jackets on.
Yes, sir. I was
and
out
during
there
the summer we had Geauga Lake. I don't know. I think they shut the park down or turned it into something else. But it was a park called Geauga Lake with the big turtles and stuff, man.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that.
Wow. Shout out to Cleveland.
You had the Goodwill. It was a Goodwill. We used to go up there and we used to. They had the bikes and stuff for cheap up there. You can go buy a bicycle. So what we used to do is,
yes, sir.
When we were kids, we used to save up cans. They don't do that now.
We did too. The 5 centers, 10 centers.
Yeah, we carry bags. I'm talking about giant bags full of cans to recycle and get money for it, man.
Yes, sir. Back in the day,
they had the free lunch too, because I was in the inner city, man. We was poor, so we had the free lunch on I think it was Sundays. You come around and you get the little box with the juice, the chips, and the sandwich wrapped up, man. The free lunch. Never forget those.
That, man.
I'm telling you, back in the days when we was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, we used to walk miles and miles away from home. You can't do that now, man.
No.
You can't be a kid out here like that now.
And it's sad. And that is global. That is global, but not in every country. For example, in certain countries such as China, Japan, and other countries, man, we've seen footage of kids, kindergartners, go leave out of school, walk down, get on the subway. Kindergartners get on the subway in some of these Asian countries, ride on home, know when to get off the subway, and walk right on. No issues at all. So and that's what we mean about the global experience. I know our topic was kind of centered around the red flags.
Yeah, but we migrated from that.
You know something? We both needed to kind of like I wanted to have it like this. I'm gonna tell you why. Because we're trying to, and a lot of us are trying to show that there's a misconception about, especially, I'm going to just put it in our aspect, Black men that are traveling with passports. And one thing that you guys aren't hearing about in the States is that there are a lot of sisters that are traveling with passports, but they aren't getting the same results, and they are bitter. So they are the ones that are also, look at these guys, they're passport bros. They're over there with those ladies of the night. Look at the passport bros. They're in the red light districts. And so they are also fueling the fire back in the States, having you guys say, yeah. Like they had one brother from the LGBTQ come down to Cartagena. He's like, oh my God, look at all these Black men in Cartagena at the airport, this and that and this. They just out here. Those aren't necessarily passport bros. Those are just Black men enjoying themselves for the weekend. And obviously you as a Black LGBTQer, you were doing the exact same thing. just enjoying yourself for the weekend. But the way that he sold it was as if everybody was out there pay for play, and they were all just at the airport, just coming into customs, and he's just making assumptions. Let me get a second to give some shout outs to these guys that are donating by way of PayPal and Cash App and Super Chats. Shout out to my man Blade Runner. Appreciate you, brother, with the $5 love, as well as my man James Palmer of the Palmer family in the year of our Lord 2025. And also, let me give some love to all you guys over here on the Super Chats. Shout out to you, brothers, with giving the shout outs. My man Thelonious giving a shout out. Appreciate you, brother, showing the love. And also shout out over there on your channel. For you, you got T Leaves. I like that name, T Leaves. Appreciate the super sticker, the $5 super sticker for the love of the game. Shout out to man Play a Mix. Appreciate that name like that. He said, appreciate the game. He said, going back to Brazil next week. He's Brazil, absolutely correct, Mrs. Spence. Brazil next week. He said, and I've set up meetings with a realtor, and a lot of guys come down here for that in South America for realtors and attorney to see how to buy a piece of property. But nobody ever showcases his story except for on certain channels. But most of us know there are so many black men that are buying properties and building properties and starting businesses. One of my friends down here, he came down here to South America and taught people in South America how to sell life insurance policies, like MetLife, for example, to the people in their community. So now he has a whole team of people down here that are doing the customer service. He's hired people, and now he's helping the community out. That never gets talked about back in the States. All they ever talk about is the ladies, but they never talk about how we lead for the lifestyle and the laws. Shout out to our brother, Mr. McPherson himself, sponsor of the night, with the $50 love. He says, shout out to Andre. He said, and the rest of the guys who are part of the Black Manosphere Conclave, we're going to be talking about that once again in a few moments after we do these shout outs, gentlemen. Shout out to my brother Kings and Dreams. He said, my guy Darwin and Dre. Appreciate you being here once again, showing that love. My man Dorkin in the Dornick. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Shout out to you, brothers, with the shout out. He said 2028 and 2032. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate that. And Kings also said earlier, he said they expect masculinity and they respect it. That's absolutely correct. And the funny part also, Darwin, a lot of guys, we are so accustomed in the United States that when we approach a woman, we don't know what we're going to get in a response. That it takes us a few times in another country to realize how soft-spoken and polite women are when you approach them in other countries. It's the craziest thing, dude, that you see dudes, it take them like 3 or 4 times to realize like, oh, these women really are not combative if I say, hello, my name is, or what's your name? These women have no, dude, in South America, there is no, I give you my number and you wait 5 or 6 days to call, or we go on a date for, Here, these women are competitive. In Asia, they are competitive. Women that would be considered a 10 in America, if not a 12, are extremely, extremely raised to be competitive. And so they realize if I don't scoop him up and tell him to call me tonight and let's schedule a date for tomorrow, the next woman that gives him her number, he's going out on a date with her. These women want, this is the craziest thing. They want to be the last one to take you to the airport. Like if one of the guys come to Cali and they come here and they'll say, Drake, could you drop me off at the airport? I'll be like, yeah, cool. I said, but I ain't going to do it. And they were like, why? I say, you got a lady friend down here now, right? Yeah. I say, bruh, she ain't going to let you drop me off at the airport. What? Your woman is not going to let me drop you off at the airport. She is going to be the last face that you see. And she'll shed her tears and can't wait for you to come back. And a lot of us have experienced women that cry when my wife did it, a lot of guys' girlfriends and wives did it. And I ain't never had a woman in the United States shed a tear for me because I got on a flight. Okay. Because I got on a flight.
Probably told you to catch Uber and catch a flight.
Yeah, bro, you can't get nobody. Bro, down here, when you get back on that flight, kid you not, when you land, the whole family is waiting for you at the. I don't care if it's at 12
It's
o'clock.
like you coming home from basic training or something, man.
It's the craziest thing because you be thinking like, wait a minute, that flight came in at 10:30 at night. What, dude? You would think it's the back of a football game or tailgating. It's so many people, and it's how do I know? I've been there in the family waiting for somebody at 12 o'clock at night, and I've had the family waiting for me when I came in. I still got photos of when I came in for that Christmas I was telling you about. They had a giant banner that said Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas, Andre. The whole family was there, and that was my first trip. And it was a hot day too. So they ended, my flight got delayed. So they ended up waiting hours for me to get here. And the whole grandmas on both sides, granddad, uncles, everybody was there. And that's how it is in these other countries that guys appreciate. Shout out also to Kings and Dreams. He said, yes, that U.S. stress hits different. I didn't realize about the noise pollution and stress until I went back. I heard Dr. Bobby Price talk about it, the brother. But when I went back, I'm not used to cars going down the street going boom, 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 boom. I'm not used to that anymore. I'm used to seeing that like if it's a celebration or if it's a parade, but only on the weekends do I hear the loud music and the celebration and all that. But just to hear somebody just riding down, when I got to Houston for last year's conclave, I was like, oh my God, America is loud. American people talk loud. American music is loud. Now I got what Dr. Bobby was saying about just the first form of noise pollution is a major stressor.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, Jay Carson in the building. Shout out to Jay. Jay says this. He said, my kids' grandparents sold their house for almost $900K this past April. That's
wow.
Fortunately for them, that's a good profit, but it is expensive. That grandma, and imagine how long grandma, the grandparents had the house. They probably got it for 45. You see what I'm saying?
And that's exactly what me and my wife are doing. We I think our house right now is around 630 or 640, 640K now. And my kids are only I got a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. So among other things that we're investing in, this one right here is going to be the piece. Once they get old enough, the first one to marry, I'm like, first one of y'all marry. Or if y'all want to do it, both of y'all can live in there.
There you go.
Paid off house. You can leverage the equity and do what you want. Man, my wife is just going to go get us a nice little apartment out on the beach somewhere. We might even go overseas.
Man, listen, come on through.
And take some of that money and just hang out and let them boys have it. They got the generational wealth. They got investment. They got a huge head start. And we're going to just let them have it, man. And that's a nice a chunk of inheritance to pass down.
That's another thing that will amaze you. How many Black couples are relocated to other countries, such as Panama, Costa Rica. Colombia has a huge influx of black families of all different ages and stages. Dominican Republic, Thailand has a huge push right now of Black families that are moving down to Thailand, as well as the Philippines. Black families are, of course, that influx of the African diaspora is taking place. But there are a lot of couples that are older and are saying, like, listen, it is too expensive for me to pay for meals and medication in the United States when I know that my medication is pennies per pill in another country. And so a lot of couples have decided that, we'll go back and visit our grandkids. We'll go back to the States and see our grandkids and our kids. But we've decided that we're going to relocate to Mexico. A lot of people don't realize the largest population of expats in the world from America is in Mexico. Over 1.2 million Americans live in Mexico. So when Trump was talking about building a wall, I started laughing, because if anybody should be building a wall to keep somebody out, it should be Mexico.
Well, see, and that's where I kind of get. I'm not gonna say I'm confused, but it's interesting to me that we found a way to justify or enjoy the landscape over there in Mexico, and then you see the Mexican people fleeing to over here. And I think the answer is maybe just a matter of building economic wealth and generational wealth, and then maybe returning back. I don't know, like.
They do. Absolutely correct. The few that you see that come to America are usually the impoverished of the impoverished from Venezuela, from the brokest of the broke coming from China, the brokest of the broke, the person that's on their last leg. They've walked for 30 days and 30 nights from Panama, Honduras, El Salvador. It's never the doctors, the attorneys, the best of the best lawyers coming and leaving their practices just to go to the States. And then when foreigners do get to the States, what do they often do that Americans don't notice? They get American careers, get an American education, they build American business, and they take a bunch of that money, send it back. They'll build a home for retirement. I got family members, Colombian family members right now that own, just one family member owns 4 pieces of property in Colombia and just finished building another piece of property. She's just a regular cook in New York.
Is El Salvador and all those other impoverished places, or is that appealing to the passport, bro?
Actually, it depends on what location you're going to in El Salvador, what location you're going to in Honduras. See, the misconception about that Americans have when they think about the term third world, which was a term that was created in World War II, and the only first world countries were considered Russia and the United States. Those are the only countries to this day are considered first world. So China and all the technology of Japan is considered technically second world, even though we all know that China and Japan technically by technology are light years ahead of us. But technically with the terms, the only countries that were considered first world were Russia and the United States. Right. Now, with third world countries, it's often a misconception that, we live in I remember one time I was at Home Center with my wife. Home Center is South America's Home Depot or Lowe's. Literally the same products, literally the same looking store. Nothing different except the title's called Home Center instead of Lowe's. I told Andre, I said, you do know that people in the United States think y'all live in the jungle of Amazon. She said, what? I say, babe, those people in the United States only know a smidgen about what's going on in the outside world. She said, y'all think we live in jungles? I say, yeah, they think y'all live in jungles. I give you another example. In the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the opening scene, Angelina Jolie is in a bar. Brad Pitt runs in. They're supposed to be in Bogota, Colombia. In the movie, it's a jungle-looking place. It's a place where it almost makes it seem like it's a hidden place in Tijuana, what they were in, that bar. I'm like, wait a minute, is that Bogota? No, they're supposed to be Bogota, like jungle. They're coming there with the black military outfits on, looking for Brad Pitt. Bogota is larger than New York, twice the size of Chicago. New York has an average of 9 million to 11 million population. Bogota has 11 million to 13 million people. It is the capital of politics in Colombia. It has some of the most advanced hospitals. Bogota in Colombia is considered the emerald capital of the world. They actually have its own stock exchange, not just regular Colombian stock exchange, but also how to exchange and make money off of emeralds. It is so advanced in many areas that you're thinking that you're in parts of the United States and you aren't. But if you watch the movies, Bogota is the jungle. So Americans don't I look at what we learned with a grain of salt. Somebody said on a video that the average American gets 4 hours of geometry. I mean, I hope I said what's the term for when you're studying the planet? Not geometry is the math.
Geology.
Geology. Thank you. I got that messed up before. Geology. The average American only gets 4 hours from kindergarten to high school of geology. Just 4 hours of studying. Most of us don't realize that we do not get much geology studies. The average country gets over 100 as a kid from kindergarten to high school gets over 100 hours of studying of other countries. That's why you have Americans that still can't tell you where Washington, D.C. is on a map. That's why you have Americans that still can't tell you where America is on a globe. Because Americans, we are programmed to be in these little bubbles. And that's why we're so amazed when we go to Thailand. Oh my God. And we're amazed at the food. And we're amazed at this. And we're amazed at that because we've never seen it. And they hid it from us because they only show us videos of Japan from back when, or they'll show you videos of Russia or back then, but they never show you how many black people are living in Russia. For example, you've got the movement that's going on TikTok that's going viral of the Black Scottish, to where people didn't know that there were black people living in Scotland, and now black people in the U.S. on TikTok and black people in Scotland are coming together. And the people in the UK are mad, but the people in Scotland are coming together and learning from each other because we didn't know. Nobody told us. And so now Americans are asking all these questions. Do y'all have this? Do y'all have that? What about this? What about that? And it's beautiful to see that we as people are using social media to learn from each other. And this is not what's being broadcasted on social media when it comes to the Passport Bro movement or the Black Expat movement or the Black Sit movement. It's only the women are talked about and the party side, and don't nobody want y'all anyway. That's why y'all going to those other countries and they using y'all. No, the same thing that traditional men wanted to do for women in the United States or Canada or UK or Australia, we're literally doing the exact same thing that we wanted to do. We're just getting a better rate of return from the women. And when people say they're only doing it for the money, no, they're doing it because they were doing it for their uncle. My wife gives me a glass of water because her dad raised her that the men that you care for, you do that for them. You do that for the male guests. My wife would have made any dude in the comment section, my wife would have got a glass of water for her too. I'm not special. It took me it was a wake-up call to realize that all these countries, these women cater to men, not just their man.
You know what? I got an idea. I'm glad you are putting me up on game on the decorum, the elegance, the way the women carry themselves, the tradition. And once I really capitalize on this money pill movement philosophy, and like I said earlier, what is meant for men and women to put them in the same room. Some of these women do not have that type of training that your wife or the women over there have. And maybe one day in the future, I may want to collab with you and just get a breakdown understanding of potentially getting some principles or some type of training material for these women, you know what I'm saying? So that they can be more marketable and more appealing to the men over here. Because I can imagine, if the women act like that over here, they're just not even being raised. That's not even on the table. That type of behavior, and it's just it's a game changer.
Have you ever noticed that nobody says that we don't have attractive women in the States? Nobody says that we don't have beautiful women in the States.
Yeah, nobody never said that.
We say that the behavior of the women in the States makes them fall by the wayside. It's not your beauty, ladies. You're beautiful. The problem is, now, not everybody, but the problem is that you ladies don't see the value in your femininity as much as women in other countries do. The other thing that has gone on, Darwin, over the last couple of years, women in other countries that do listen to English, speak English as a second language, such as my wife and other women, they're clapping back on social media. because they're like, wait a minute, I got 2 degrees. Wait a minute, I own this, that, and this. Wait a minute, I inherited this, that, and this. My wife is an accountant, a tax accountant here. And so when I sit back and I hear women in the United States, them Colombian women, they out there just drugging y'all and this, and I'm like, no, those are the party dudes. Those are we call them passport pookies. Those are the passport pookies. But us regular, everyday, mere mortal black men, we don't go through that. Most of us have never been robbed. We've never been drugged. We've never been scammed. Most of us get on a plane, have a good time in a country, or move to another country and enjoy life. I've never come close to any of these horror stories that the pookies go through. So even in the passport bro genre or group, we know you know how black people know there's a difference between black people and ninjas. Black ninjas don't like black people and black people don't like ninjas.
Yes, sir.
It's the same thing in our movement. Passport bros can't stand the pookies, and the pookies cannot stand the passport bros, because the passport bros act like we got some sense and respect other cultures. We respect the women. We act like we got some sense, even if we are only there for a couple days. Pookies, those are the ones that's running around throwing money in the air in public. They're the ones that's getting drugged and robbed. They're the ones that's getting scammed to becoming Western Union poppies and sending thousands of dollars to women every month.
Is that Western Union poppies? That's a new one right there.
What, you heard about the Western Union poppies? Oh man, they get around forever. There are dudes that send thousands of dollars to one. You'll have one Colombian woman, right? Or one Filipino woman. And what she'll do is she'll tell one dude, I'm in the streets, I'm pay for play. I don't want you to be pay for play anymore. Okay. To get me off the streets, send me $500 every week. Okay, baby, I'll send you $500 every week. She's told this to 7 dudes. The average woman in Colombia only makes $300 a month. Just imagine you got 6 dudes sending you $500 a piece every week. For you to so-called stop selling your body on the streets. And guess what she's still doing? Selling her body on the streets.
She's killing it.
The reason why, because they like, it's not just about the money, but it's also like they like the attention. They like meeting a new guy from a different part of the world. Being a pay-for-play in many countries, these ladies get to meet men from around the world, understand the world from a different dynamic. They get attention from not just the men, the local men. They get attention from men from France, attention from men from the United States. They get attention from men from Germany. So that addiction of attention, like a person that gets addicted to being on stage, an entertainer, that attention for pay for play, you can't buy that away from her. So a lot of the women be like, yeah, I'll get off the streets for you, Poppy. Oh, my bad. Medellin, Papacito. So for you, Papacito, I'll stop selling my body, and it'll be 5 or 6 dudes sending $500 a week. Those are Western Union poppies, because they always go to Western Union, sending that money out, and she'll still stay in the streets. And I've seen it happen time, and dudes will call me and will be in tears. Dre, why did she lie? My question is, why did you send the money? Why did you believe in her? Why did you try to take a hoe and turn into a housewife when she was a literal whore? She literally takes care of her 3 kids and her grandmama's medication by selling her body. And you think because she's so beautiful and you're an American, she was going to go for the lure. And you didn't realize that she tricked you and 5 other guys into. I know one guy, he was sending $300 a month to the Dominican Republic for 3 years. Hadn't been to the Dominican Republic in 3 years. That's how these pookies get got. That's how they get got. I kid you not. I don't say how you end up interviewing me on my channel, but I'll take that. Nobody ever interviews me. I will take it. But yeah, man, it's the
you got a lot of gems, man. It's just that's the thing.
The Western Union poppies, man, they are real. I mean, real. I'm talking about in the hundreds. There are men that have sold their houses in France and lost everything because they sent that money over time to that woman in other countries. There are guys in the United States or Canada that have an extra job, and that second job or second hustle is specifically to send money to that girl back in Brazil. Why? Because let's take it from the perspective of whether she's pay for play or not. Because this woman makes him feel better. Shout out to my brother. What's my brother name? I'm not El Guapo didn't come with this one. Pablo Frescobar came with this one. He said, "My pay for play or my whore treats me better than your wife."
Damn.
He said, "Whores can treat you better quite often than some of the best women back in your home country." He ain't lying. These women, they have something called the girlfriend experience that you may be down for the weekend. They give you such a girl. You would think this was your woman as much as they spoil you and treat you well. And so this guy is like, wait a minute. I know a guy that's been married to his wife for 30 years. She has never done this for him, that for him, this for him, that for him. I got a woman right here I'm paying pay for play for 4 days, and she's done this, that, this, that. My whore is better, treats me better than your wife treats you. And in many cases, sadly, it's true. Because once again, that woman may be pay for play, but she comes from a traditional background. So that part is still in her as far as, okay, we did have sex, but I'm going to cook. I'm going to clean up your Airbnb. Do you need anything? Oh, I got a connection to a nice restaurant. Oh, do you want to go over here? I'll show you how to get there. Oh, I'll make sure I get my cousin to get a ride for you to go back to the airport. I mean, all these things that they do for you that many wives back in the States don't even consider doing. And this woman is just a whore that you paid for 4 days. The girlfriend experience. So when some of these guys feel like when I go back, I'm sending this money because I've never experienced this before. I know guys that actually pay, that put a down payment on a pay for play chick, meaning that, listen, I know you charge this much for 5 days. I'll be down in October. I'm sending the money now. I'll be down next December. I'm sending the money now. Because they know, because that woman was raised in a traditional country, even though she's pay for play, she still treats him better than many wives treat their husbands back home in Canada, UK, in the United States. That's why women in the States are pissed, because of pay for play in enough. Y'all just going down there to battles women. In many cases, yes, because they do treat those men better than you who are complaining back in the States treat your boyfriend and you've been with him for 7 years and y'all got 2 kids. Y'all got 3 kids, come to think of it. Y'all got 3 kids, y'all been together for 7 years, and you still have never just gotten that man a glass of water. You've never made, like we often say, you've never even made your man a paper plate at the barbecue.
Well, man, that is crazy. Man, that's food for thought.
Yeah. But I know you've been on here for a while. I know it's getting late over there where you are, and you are, of course, a family man.
What time is it over there where you at?
It's just 9:50. It's just 9:57 over here. So you guys are an hour ahead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's about to be 11 o'clock over here.
I know, right? You know, you need to relax, spend some time with the family. I got wifey over here too. Let me get to these super chats and the rest of the cash apps and everything, and then we're going to close talking about 2 things. We're going to talk about what you got coming down the turnpike, and we're going to talk about the Black Men's for Conclave after I get done giving these guys their shout outs.
Absolutely.
Shout out to my man Growth Talk. Appreciate you being here, brother. He said, come back from Cartagena once. He said, and as soon as I got to baggage claim in Miami, it was a chick arguing, cussing. Yeah, I went through that, man. I remember I got a couple times I went back to the States. The first thing I saw was bonnets and pajamas. And I was like, man, I'm back here. I remember I came back for COVID, Darwin. I left in 2 days. I couldn't take it. I said, no, this ain't me. I'm out. I'm out. I saw my family. I said, how long ago you here? Oh, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. You only been here 2 days? Yeah, yeah, I can't do this. I can't. I ain't gonna lie to myself. And so I went and made sure I saw some friends. I saw my family, and I was on the next thing flying. He said he saw some chicks cussing and ready to fight security. Just landed in Miami from Cartagena. El Salvador is safe now. Yes, it is. I've heard a lot of great things that they're doing. I watched some headlines on El Salvador lately. So they're doing some great things, cleaning up and developing. They're investing their they're investing their money into development now over there as well. And shout out to my man T Mac over on Cash Out with the $10 love. Appreciate you, brothers. Helping with the sponsorship. And so let's talk about let's land the plane with some of the things that you plan on doing that are coming down the turnpike, or we could talk about the Black Manosphere Conclave and what you plan on. Just give guys a little hint of what you plan on discussing once again for those that weren't here earlier when it comes to the conclave.
So what I got coming down the pipe, as I mentioned before, it's this money pill movement. I'm going to be releasing a video in the morning, going into detail about it on my channel. If I get it finished, I'm going to try to play with it a little bit after this. And if I get it finished, I might just release it on my post. A lot of times I'll throw the video up before I release it on the community post, just giving them a breakdown of understanding the philosophy behind it. And obviously, I've on August the 18th was last week, I released Dominance by Design. It's just it's some course material in a community that I'm trying to build to grow, my tribe. There's a lot of guys that are down, what I'm saying, what I'm down with. They like the perspective, they like the vision that I have, and they want to be a part of something. So I'm opening that up. And, what I'm saying, once I get the guys on board, once I get the money pill rolling, and we're going to bring the women in, and the women are going to come in because a lot of women want this, they want the lifestyle, they want the safe space, they want the security. And I'm just looking for men who are willing to give it. And that's what I want to kind of surround myself around, guys who want to do it. And as far as the Manosphere, the Black Manosphere Conclave 5.0 down in Miami, September 5th through the 7th, I'm going to be talking about the mating market, the evolution, just giving an understanding to the guys of what changes that have come about from 1960 up until 2025, and how you can set yourself apart from the losers and be a winner. I think that the information that they're going to be able to get is surgical, it's meticulous, it's well researched, data driven, and it's got a lot of practice. It's going to have a lot of practical plans of actions or call to actions for men to, be interested in and pursuing, so that they can become a better version of themselves, expand their knowledge, expand their resources, expand their network. And hopefully I can get a great deal of those guys to join, my community. I think
that's what it's all about.
And my confidence is, I'm not going to say I have a strong ego. I know a lot of the guys may be a little bit older than me. And from my experience in the military, a lot of the challenges was, if you're moving at a fast pace, I was one of the guys they call a fast tracker. It only took me 2.5 or 2.8 years to become a sergeant, when it takes at least about 4 years to become a sergeant. So I became a sergeant, and a lot of the guys that were underneath me were older than me. So the challenge that I was running into, and I know a lot of people run into, is whenever guys have more experience than you, and you got an audience that are overwhelmingly 40 to 60, it's kind of hard for them to hearken to the voice of somebody who had a fraction or half of the experience they had. So that might be one of the challenges that I have to deal with, but I'm willing to cross that bridge when the time comes. But nevertheless, I'm going to still punch the ticket and keep pushing. And like I said, the guys got to, they got to get it on the pillow or something like that. Pause. That ain't sound right, but
learn on that pillow.
Yeah. So it's a patience
learn on
thing.
that pillow.
It's a patience thing, but I think most importantly, as long as it's not about me and it's about everybody collectively, and the bottom line that we all we have a mutual interest in achieving, then it shouldn't be a matter about wisdom or experience. It's a matter about logic. And can I make it make sense? And is this something that my audience desires? And that's what I've been working in day on day out, just making sure I'm putting the right messaging and the right service, being a service to my audience for what they actually want. And it's a game. Like, it's a game. You're a content creator yourself. You know that it's a very difficult thing to do. And I think the struggle that I come up with is you really have to pick a side. Like, there's this gender war. It's really hard to get traction remaining neutral. A lot of people that come into space, they're really, they hurt, they're burned out, and they just want somebody to resonate with them. They don't really want you to tell them to go get up out of their chair and go get after it. You know what I'm saying? Go make some changes, go make the improvement, go get it. They don't really want to hear that because they've probably seen so many other creators or so many other products and services that just have failed. But I'm not trying to push that. I'm actually trying to create a connection, a relationship with the guys so that we can talk virtually and in person and put away all the gimmicks, the courses and shit like that. Let's come together and let's figure this out together. Let's talk. Let's bring men and women in the same room and figure it out. I think that's the best case scenario for what we want to achieve over here. And then obviously you got the brothers like yourself to say, look, you know what? You guys that want to continue, and I'm gonna tell them, you want to get married in this landscape? I'm gonna take you over there to see my man Spence, Spence over there. He's gonna get you right because you don't have to play the game rigged. You don't have to play it. It's just way you can win. You can always come back and visit. But if you want to set your anchor down, you want to solidify your legacy, don't restrict yourself to where you at. Expand your options. And that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm taking my wife down there with me. My mother-in-law is going to come watch the kids for us. I'm going to take my wife down there and we're going to have some breakout sessions, man. The breakout sessions are going to be a code approach. I got some communication skills and some perks and some training that I want to pass around. And I know a lot of guys would rather be able to showcase it in real time. So I'm gonna have a prop there. She'll be measuring and grading whether or not they can communicate transparency, because that's the most important thing now. Is either you're looking for intentional commitment, you're looking for a relationship with this woman, or you want to smash. And we live in a sexually liberated society. So it's nothing wrong. You shouldn't be shamed or you shouldn't be off-put to be able to communicate, hey, look, I just want to have fun. But you need to send that signal early. So, because the women, you'd be surprised, a lot of women will be down. These women will be down over here.
I know.
If that's what you want, we gotta have a good time. What is in it for me? Let her know what's in it for her, and y'all go ahead and get y'all outcome if that's what y'all want to do. The last thing we want to do is have brothers on this finesse stuff, telling them what they want to hear just so they can get it and bail out. Because women are creating tactics to be able to finesse you back, and then it becomes a war with each other. So transparency is the motto, and I'll land right there, brother.
Yes, sir. I like that. Now before I go to the last few super chats, shout out to my man Theo Wolf in the building. I have one last question for you. Do you have any for the chat? Do you have any links, or where can guys go get your ebooks or join your join the groups that you're putting together? Do you have anything that you can share with the chat that you could put in the chat for the guys and the ladies, that they could say, oh, he said he got free ebooks, but where do I go to get those? Or he said that he has the 21 questions. What do I, or what he has this, he's putting together that. He does mentorship. How do I reach out to him?
So the first link I gave you was Dominance by Design. It has you can get the full package. It comes with everything included, the mentorship and everything.
Did you drop it in the comments?
I put it in the private chat. I don't know if it allows me to drop it in the comments. It might let me.
There we go.
And I appreciate you allowing me to do this.
Oh yeah, man.
A lot of guys in this content space don't like to eat off of their plates.
Oh man, no. This is a must-have. We are always on learner mode. One of our mottos on this channel, we stay on learner mode. All of us. We're always ready to learn something new.
Right. So yeah, I got a couple more links I'm gonna drop. Let me just go ahead and grab them real quick.
Take your time. Take your time. Yeah, we're always on learner mode. We always support over here. We support Black male content. Not saying that we don't support Black female content, but it is very hard to find a group of men that are on a positive journey, no matter what other people think, and that we can find other men that are doing the same thing, that we all can glean off of each other. We don't have Kevin around, so all we got is each other. We're like Voltron now. We used to have just Lion-O with the Thundercats, and Kevin Samuels was Lion-O, and all he had to do was just raise his sword. Now we're Voltron, and so it comes in different parts, different segments of all of us working together as men, and that's the beauty of the Black Manosphere Conclave. The fact that all of us men are coming together, not shunning the women, but there's a time where men need to come in barbershops with suits on. And that's what the Black Manosphere Conclave is. It's just men doing what we do in barbershops in suits. We're sharing information with each other.
Hey, they got the yacht party, man. I was like, okay.
I talked to my wife about the yacht party.
Oh, man, what you gonna drive? You gonna get your economy rental out there? What you gonna drive over there?
I am not driving anything ever again in the States. Nope. I'm good. Give me an Uber. I'm straight. No.
I was thinking about getting.
I am not trying to get.
I was thinking about just flexing, just renting a maybe one of those Rolls Royce. Or,
see, you El Guapo talking the same language.
Oh well, I gotta get in touch because I don't want him to rent the same thing I got. Cause I might have to get.
No. He's not talking about renting the same thing, but he is talking about renting a nice vehicle. As for Andre, I'm not.
They got a McLaren out there that I like.
Oh
and,
yeah.
I want to drive. See, I want to take my wife out and spoil her.
Spoiler, man.
Yeah. Her birthday's in 18, but I was gonna do something for her early. She might be watching this. I might be telling too much.
You said it's September 18th?
Yeah, that's her birthday. But we're gonna be out there early, so I might just spoil her early.
Valentine's Day here in Colombia.
Oh yeah?
On your wife's birthday. Valentine's Day here in Colombia.
Okay. So you're gonna be doing something special too.
Yes, sir.
Okay then.
Yes,
all right.
Sir.
Yeah, that's all I got, man. I'm glad you brought me over here, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to do this more. Yes, we do, brethren. Yes, we do. Let me get the rest of these super chats. Shout out to Corporate ST Jones. Shout out to Corporate being in the building. He said, Dre and Darwin. He said, I love your collaboration. Glad that you're here, kind sir. Glad that you are here. Black Nubian is in the building. The Canadian boys at it again.
I told this guy where I was from. He said, oh, Canada.
Shout out to all them Canadian boys. Shout out to all you guys that are coming from Texas. All you Chi-Town Midwesterners, shout out to you guys.
And you say Shot City? Shot City? Shot City? Coming home again.
And all you Atlanta boys and Louisiana boys, all you dirty South guys.
What you really know about the dirty South? What you really know about the dirty South?
All the men here, I can't forget about you West Coasters. Shout out all the way from Seattle and Oregon, all the way down California and AZ. And then, of course, us Detroiters can't forget about you 313 boys.
You better back the fuck up out my face, goddammit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Don't play with me.
Don't play with them Detroit boys. You know how we are. You know how we get. Shout out once again to Kings of Dreams. He says that this live stream has been great, gentlemen. Great. Thank you very much. And then we got one of the three horsemen of the Black Manosphere Conclave, Theo, who is, you got Theo, Obsidian, and Shannon. Shout out to those gentlemen. And Theo says this. He said, looking forward to seeing you both at the BMC 5 in Miami. Both of you have an excellent message. Let's advance this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my man Neo says this. Shout to Neo Moses once again. He said, Christian men. He said, discerning a wife is adorance. Artemis. I like that. Let me write that down. Oh, yeah,
that's my man Neo Moses, man. He be on my channel, man. That dude's a good dude. Hopefully he can join my community. He be having some good points, especially some really good comments, man. I be scrolling through my comments and I run up on Neo's comments and I'm like, damn,
that was up.
I got some wisdom. Let me get him in my group.
He's a Artemis church. I know, right? He's an Artemis when churches neglect guidance. He say earnest men must not journey alone, but require mentorship and exemplars. He say, thank you, gentlemen, for the topic tonight. Shout out to you, brother. And let's get ready to close this out. Shout out to all you brothers that are here. We're going to close this out. And basically, I'm going to just let guys know, once again, just letting guys know that I will be there. And you will be seeing the books that I have, the 3 books that I've written. You'll be seeing those there. So that's the banner. So look for that banner when you get to the Black Manosphere Conclave in regards to the book sales in the vendor section. So I got my banner ordered. And so my banner would be at the Conclave in the next couple of days, actually. So you guys will be looking for your boy. And I will be autographing all the books as well. Shout out to all you guys that will be there at the Black Manosphere Conclave and get a chance to see Chewy, as well as get a chance to see my man Darwin and Theo and the rest of us, from Richie Mack to all the way to Culture Connection is going to be there. Yeah. So we're going to have a good time, as well as El Guapo. Oh yeah, Culture. That's a tall boy. Coach is tall. That's big country right there. That's 6'6", 6'7". That's big country right there. Shout out to Culture. All right, so we're gonna end this live stream like we always do, guys, with the Colombian girl outro. For all you guys that aren't used to it, we're gonna throw some of these Colombian ladies up there, and let's go with this one.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world.